Chapter 369. Amazing older sister. Yi Zichen frowned when he saw Yang Jian's hesitation. Approximately 10 odd minutes later, a message appeared on the screen once again. Bro, verify it. Yi Zichen quickly clicked on his new friend. When he saw the friend request, he rolled his eyes helplessly. Tell me her account number, I'll add her. Sure. Yang Jian immediately sent the deity's account number over. When Yi Zichen added it, the confirmation message wrote, I, Yang Jian's friend, Sky Sovereign Nameless. Ding dong. Message verified. Little brother Yang Jian said that you can make me pretty? The woman called Stone Fairy directly sent that. Yi Zichen's expression darkened when he saw that, little brother. She's pretty amazing in the heavenly court since she dares to call Yang Jian her little brother. But what the hell is this Stone Fairy? I've seen so many legends in the heavenly court and the underworld, and I've searched them all on Baidu. Why haven't I heard of her before? I can, Yi Zichen nodded. But this is a paid service. If I make you prettier, then you have to help me do things. I understand, Stone Fairy nodded with a smile. Tell me, how should I cooperate with you? Let's talk about that after I make you pretty. Of course, I can't do it now, but we can set a time. How about tomorrow? Yi Zichen didn't have any cosmetics on hand, so he needed to find some time to find some makeup videos on the internet. Of course, he couldn't teach it by himself, so he had to find a makeup teacher in order to start a class. Otherwise, wouldn't it be bullshit for a big shot like him to teach people makeup? I have time no matter what. Just call me here when you have time. All right. Ding dong. Your intimacy level with Stone Fairy increased by 200. Ding dong. Intimacy level leveled up. Current intimacy level, trusted. Bro, you finished chatting with her? Yang Jian sent a message the moment Yi Zichen finished chatting with Stone Fairy. Pretty much. This big sis is pretty cooperative. But who is this fairy? Why does she call you Stone Fairy and call you little brother? Yi Zichen asked hesitantly. AI about this. Yang Jian smiled nervously. I lost to her in arm wrestling not long ago. After that, she called me little brother whenever she saw me. Arm wrestling? And you lost? Yi Zichen was completely dumbfounded. An increase in cultivation would also increase one's strength and various other functions. Yang Jian was, after all, a worldly immortal at the Great Circle. If he lost to her, didn't that mean that this Stone Fairy was a heavenly immortal? She was definitely very famous in the heavenly court, but he had never heard any immortals mention her. That's right, I lost. She only has the strength of an early-stage human immortal, but she was born with divine strength. Even a monkey wouldn't be able to defeat her. Yang Jian said helplessly. It's also my fault. If I hadn't shown off my muscles to those fairies, I wouldn't have provoked this big sister. Serves you right. After chatting with Yang Jian for a while, he seemed to have something to deal with, so the conversation between the two stopped. Yi Zichen flipped over onto the bed. At that very moment, he felt a faint gaze staring at him. Needless to say, the only person who could appear in his room at this time was Lu Jing. Turning his head, as expected, Lu Qing was lying next to him, her big eyes filled with resentment as she looked at him. You're a bad guy. Lu Qing pouted, and her delicate little face was filled with unhappiness as she said, Where did you go? I haven't seen you for so long. Yi Zichen smiled and rubbed her head when he saw the resentment on her face. I went out to busy myself. Why didn't you bring me along if you were going out for so long? Lu Jing pouted. These past few days, I've been sleeping in the Dragon Eye, or flying around in the room. There's no one to play with me. Why you don't like me anymore, right? How could that be? Alright, I was wrong, alright? Yi Zichen shrugged helplessly. When he saw her, Yi Zichen immediately thought about the situation with the spirit water of Yuan. Before he went to the capital, the spirit water of Yuan was only 10 odd days away. Since he had stayed quite a bit in the capital, the spirit water of Yuan might already have enough time. Now that he had gathered all the items needed for revival, it was time for Lu Jing to be revived. That would fulfill his original intention. At that very moment, a green bead shot through the sky. When it got closer, Yi Zichen noticed that it was Soul Pearl Yuan. "Why did you come?" Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows at the bead. Soul Pearl Yuan continuously circled around him. Yi Zichen scratched his chin, then his eyes lit up. "Enough time?" Soul Pearl Yuan instantly nodded. Seeing that, Yi Zichen smiled brightly, then rubbed Lu Jing's head. "You'll be able to revive very soon." When Yi Zichen drove to the apartment, he saw Third Fatty Jean and Di Tian playing video games together. Since Di Tian told him about the Xianyuan scabbard's identity, Yi Zichen kept his promise and did not make him do any more housework. "Boss Yi, when did you come back? Why didn't you tell little brother to go and pick you up?" Third Fatty Jean chucked the game controller to the side and ran over with a smile. Di Tian glanced at him, then clenched his teeth and shouted, "Boss Yi." Yi Zichen nodded towards the two of them. When he thought of his reason for coming here, he smiled. "You two play around. You two play with yourselves. I'm here to take samples." With that, Yi Zichen went straight to the room on the second floor. The dark night filled the room with darkness, while a faint light flickered in the corner of the room. This was the soul water of a Yuan that Soul Pearl Yuan had soaked in. Scan. Ding dong. The system has detected the soul water of a Yuan that has been soaked in for 49 days. Would you like to extract it? The time is just right. Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows with a smile, then immediately clicked confirm on the screen. Zoom. The soul water of a Yuan on the floor disappeared. Yi Zichen clicked open the treasure chest, and saw the soul water of a Yuan that had been soaked in for a long time. "Oh, did you gather all the treasures for my revival?" Lu Qing blinked her eyes in confusion. Yi Zichen nodded with a smile, then knocked her head. "Yeah. You'll be able to revive very soon. What do you want to do after reviving?" "Me?" Lu Jing licked her lips with a giggle. "Be with you." The sincerity in her words caused Yi Zichen to smile wryly. "This girl really wants to be with me. But if that's the case, then I'll have another woman by my side." Yi Zichen scratched his head to get rid of the thoughts in his mind, then nodded towards her with a smile, then clicked open WeChat to find King Chujiang. That old brat had said that I can just find him after I gather all the items. Chapter 370. Trouble in the Underworld. The Underworld. Inside the Yama Palace that King Chujiang was in charge of. At this moment, he was frowning as he looked at the mountain of documents in front of him. He didn't know what happened recently, but the workload in the underworld suddenly increased. However, when these dead people came to the front of the 10 Yama Palace, all of them cried out their grievances. Magistrate Chui was extremely busy, and so were the 10 Yama kings. All of the ghost servants in the underworld were sent out to capture the souls, and even the 18 levels of hell were almost full. In the Yama King chat group, King Pingding, "Brothers, I'm about to die from exhaustion." King Yanluo, "This is a bit strange. Why did the workload increase so much recently? I've sent out all of the ghost servants in my Yama Palace, but I still can't catch all of them in my area. Requesting for backup." King Qingguang, "My area isn't too busy, I'll send some people to help you." King Yanluo, "Io, thank you so much." King Chujiang originally wanted to appear in the group as well, but just as he was about to send a message, his phone rang. After exiting the chat group, he saw the person who sent him the message gulp. Why did this hero come looking for me? He licked his lips, then ran to the group to ask for help. King Chujiang, "Everyone, that hero came looking for me again." King Luanhui, "Which hero?" King Yanluo, "King Chujiang, what are you talking about? Oh right, are you busy? Can you lend me some soul reaping?" King Chujiang, "I'm also quite busy, so I've sent them all out." King Qingguang, "Which hero, is it him?" King Chujiang, "Yes, it's the one who saved you, big brother. The last few times he came looking for me, it was to increase the lifespan of others. I've already increased it quite a few times. What if he asks me to increase it again? The heavenly court won't find trouble with me. King Qingguang, don't forget that expert's identity. He might very well be the reincarnation of the Yellow Emperor. We have to treat him well. Hurry up and reply. If there's anything you can't do, say it in the group. King Chujiang, all right. After exiting the group, King Chujiang swallowed his saliva and prayed. Expert, please don't ask me to increase lifespan, anything else is fine. Pursing his lips, King Chujiang made up his mind and replied. Master, may I ask why you are looking for me? Yi Zichen was getting a bit impatient from waiting. Fortunately, Yi Zichen replied just as his patience was about to run out. Otherwise, he might have started cursing. Of course I have something to discuss with you. Do you still remember the secret method you told me to resurrect those who died before their time? Of course, of course. Do you need me to repeat it for you? King Chujiang replied with an embarrassed smile. There's no need. I'm here to tell you that I've gathered everything I need. Hurry up and open the netherworld gate for me. I want to revive that person. Yi Zichen was rather anxious, but King Chujiang was completely stunned. That's it. The resurrection of unfinished life required treasures that were hard to find. If these treasures were used on an ordinary person, they might even be able to create an immortal. This expert actually managed to gather all of them. From the looks of it, he really didn't feel the slightest bit of heartache for that treasure. Master, are you sure you've gathered everything? Celestial Pill, 9-heart lotus root, 1,000-year dragon eye, soul water of Yuan. Are you sure you've gathered everything? No shit, why would I look for you if I didn't? Hurry up and open the gate. Hurry up. Yi Zichen continuously urged him. King Chujiang wiped the sweat off his forehead, then ran back to the group to ask for help. King Chujiang, everyone, save me, brothers. King Qingguang, what did that master say? King Chujiang, Master told me to open the gate between the underworld and the human realm for him. He wants to come here. King Pingding, what did he come here for? King Chujiang, didn't I mention it to you guys last time? This master wants to revive people who died before their time. Now that he gathered all of the treasures, he wants to come and revive. King Yenluo, amazing! King Luanhui, 666. King Songdi, this master is too amazing. He gathered everything. King Chujiang, no, can you guys stop sighing here? That master is still waiting for my reply. King Qingguang, we can't let the master come down, at least not in the near future. The underworld is too chaotic right now. If we casually open the gate to the underworld, then those wraiths might sneak out. If they harm the human realm, then that would be our fault. King Chujiang, then what do you think I should do? King Qingguang, I'll go and tell that master. With that, King Qingguang left the group, then found Yi Zichen's friend list and sent him a message. Master, Yi Zichen didn't expect it to actually be King Qingguang after waiting for a long time. Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows, then replied, What is it? What's wrong? Did King Chujiang ask you to tell me? Sort of. King Qingguang replied noncommittally. The master has gathered all the resurrection items, right? Aha! Master, the situation is like this. The underworld has been in some trouble recently, so the gate between the underworld and the human realm cannot be opened. If you aren't in a hurry, can you wait a while? You guys are the ones who said that you can open the gate, and you guys are also the ones who can't. Yi Zichen smiled coldly, then sent a voice message to King Qingguang. I think that the underworld is intentionally making things difficult for this sovereign, right? Rumble. In the King of Hell's palace, a furious rebuke mixed with monstrous anger resounded from the main hall of Qin Guangwang. The ghost messengers in the hall were so frightened that they knelt on the ground. King Qingguang's eyes widened in astonishment as he said in his heart, Laws of the heavens. I didn't expect this master to actually be an expert that can pry into the laws of the heavens. Thinking that, King Qingguang didn't dare to be negligent. He immediately walked down from the throne and bowed, Master, please calm down. Since you can pry into the laws of the heavens, then you naturally know the situation of the underworld. We really didn't lie to you. Please calm down. A cold snort sounded out from within the hall. King Qingguang quickly bowed, while Yi Zichen also spoke up. What sort of trouble did the underworld encounter? Recently, a large number of ghosts that died wrongfully suddenly appeared in the underworld for some reason. Some of the ghosts even turned into wraiths due to their grudges. The underworld is currently investigating. Once we get the results, we will naturally open the gate for you. A large number of ghosts that died wrongfully suddenly appeared. Yi Zichen frowned. King Qingguang immediately bowed. Indeed. That's true. The deaths of these vengeful spirits are very strange. All of their 3 spiritual souls and 6 physical souls are missing 1 spiritual soul and 1 physical soul. The way they died is very suspicious. Yi Zichen said in surprise. When King Qingguang heard Yi Zichen's tone, he somehow found the courage to speak up. Master, I wonder if you can lend the underworld a hand. King Qingguang's words stunned Yi Zichen, but he still smiled with interest. What do you want me to help the underworld with? Investigate this. King Qingguang squinted his eyes. This problem had troubled them for far too long, but no matter how they investigated, they couldn't find any clues. Since this master has already pry into the laws of the heavens, then he might be able to. Chapter 371. Nervous Yao Yu. After a long while, King Qingguang didn't respond. He was also thinking about what kind of benefits would make an expert who could pry into the heavenly Tao help him. There's no need to be in such a hurry to make a promise. It's not impossible to talk about it after I really help the underworld solve this problem. Yi Zichen smiled. King Qingguang instantly revealed a look of joy. Ha ha ha. Thank you, Master. Don't thank me so quickly. I might not be able to help you. Tell me about the situation on your side. After half an hour, King Qingguang finally told the whole story. Coincidentally, the underworld's business increased right after Yi Zichen ran into the demons in the capital. What's more, the area with the most business was the one King Yama was in charge of. This series of coincidences might not mean anything by itself, but if they were interlaced together, it would be worth pondering. All right, I've more or less understood it. That's it. Thank you for your help. King Qingguang bowed once again. Yi Zichen merely smiled, then exited the chat, and laid on the bed to look at the ceiling. What's wrong? The content of your conversation is so strange. Lu Jing flew over from the side and leaned on Yi Zichen's shoulder. Yi Zichen nodded with a smile. Even he himself was confused as to why he agreed to King Qingguang's request. The underworld has run into some trouble. It seems like your resurrection will have to be delayed. Yi Zichen patted Lu Jing's head. She shrugged with a smile. So be it, it's fine as long as you keep me by your side. All right. Noon arrived in the blink of an eye. Yi Zichen called Xia Kiki out to buy cosmetic. He had wanted to call Su Yan, but she told him that she didn't have time. Why did you buy cosmetics? Do you need makeup too? Xia Kiki tilted her head and blinked in confusion. Yi Zichen's expression darkened as he knocked her head. What are you thinking? Why do I need to put on makeup? Hurry up and help me pick out a set of cosmetics. I want a set. It's so weird. Xia Kiki left with a pout, while Yi Zichen stood on the spot and looked at the array of goods in front of him curiously. Eyeliner, BB cream. Women, makeup is so troublesome. Yao Yu, is there anything else you like? Just let me know. The familiar name caused Yi Zichen to be stunned. He looked up in shock and saw his ex-girlfriend, Yao Yu. Yao Yu was wearing a branded outfit and a limited edition bag, while she was surrounded by a few girls like stars surrounding the moon. I don't want it. You've already bought so much for me. How embarrassing! Even though Yao Yu said this, there was no hint of embarrassment in her eyes. She liked the feeling of being sought after by others, and she also loved that kind of vanity, It was naturally a good thing that he could spend money on her. I've made you spend so much money. How about this? I'll call my boyfriend when I go home tonight and ask him to transfer the money to you. No need, no need. The rich girl beside Yao Yu waved her hands. The reason why she gave Yao Yu so many gifts was to gain her favor. As the old saying goes, the one who takes it is short-handed. Since Yao Yu was taking her things like this, she definitely wouldn't be able to reject her request in the future. Maintaining Beauty was a big company in the skincare industry. If her father could sign a contract with Maintaining Beauty, their family would definitely rise to new heights. Yi Zichen shook his head when he saw that. It seemed like Yao Yu found a new boyfriend, and he seemed to be rather amazing. Otherwise, these girls wouldn't be so respectful towards her. Yi Zichen shook his head with a smile. Yao Yu and him were already in the past. Yi Zichen, who had experienced too much, no longer had the initial thought of taking revenge when he saw her. Since they both had a new life, then I'll just silently wish them well. Yi Zichen turned around to leave. At that very moment, Yao Yu, look. Is that your boyfriend? Yao Yu's heart trembled. She subconsciously raised her head towards the back of the figure in the store and smiled coyly. How is that possible? He's extremely busy at the company right now. Why would he come to a place like this? Go and take a look, it might really be him. Look, the place he came to is a cosmetic store for women. Isn't it your birthday in a while? He might want to give you a surprise. The girl beside Yao Yu giggled, while the surrounding girls also nodded. That's very possible. Wow, your boyfriend is so rich and romantic. I'm so envious of you. These girls did not know about her relationship with Yi Zichen, but she, Yao Yu, understood it very clearly. Birthday present. He might come to send a wreath at my funeral. The figure just now did look a bit like Yi Zichen. The girl beside Yao Yu continuously urged her to go in, causing her to become more and more nervous. As long as she walked in, then she would be exposed. Don't go. Since he's giving me a surprise, then why should I go? He might give you an even bigger surprise if you meet him here. With that, the girls pulled Yao Yu's arm and pulled her in. I said I'm not going. Why do you guys have to go in and take a look? Yao Yu's sudden anger caused the surrounding customers to subconsciously look over. The girl who pulled her in just now also lowered her head in shock, and did not dare to say anything else. You guys, since Yao Yu said she's not going in, then she's not going in. The rich girl also frowned, then hugged Yao Yu's arm with a smile. Don't get angry at them. Simon, let's go and eat dessert. However, at that moment, Xia Kiki walked out of the store with her arm around Yi Zichen's shoulder. Everyone looked at each other. Yao Yu's expression instantly changed. Her eyes were filled with panic, while her body trembled slightly. Am I going to be exposed? What a coincidence! After a long while, Yi Zichen broke the silence first. Yao Yu's roommates all looked at her pitifully. On the other hand, the rich girl was rather open-minded. So what if a man of this level has a few women outside? Didn't her dad often fool around outside as well? Yet, her mom was still the main wife. Yeah, it really is a coincidence. Why aren't you at the company? Yao Yu bit her lips nervously. Yi Zichen blinked, then raised his eyebrows at her in surprise. What did you say? No. Nothing. Yao Yu shook her head forcefully, dragged the rich girl beside her and ran away from the side. The surrounding girls glared at Yi Zichen fiercely, then left with Yao Yu. I pissed them off? Yi Zichen nodded in confusion, while Xia Kiki blinked innocently. Chapter 372. Stone Fairy learning to make up. When Yi Zichen and Xia Kiki thought back to the gazes of the girls, they couldn't help but feel confused. He couldn't help but wonder how he had provoked them. They had come here to buy a set of cosmetics, and they had not talked to each other before. Could it be that they weren't allowed to buy cosmetics here? Or rather, they knew that Yi Zichen knew that he was Yao Yu's ex-boyfriend, which was why they were hostile towards him. Alright, Yi Zichen decided to take the blame for this. Don't worry about them, maybe it's because of me. Xia Kiki shrugged helplessly and couldn't help but frown. What does it have to do with you? She was the one who cheated on you when you two broke up. It's not your fault. Who knows? Yi Zichen smiled, then caressed her hair. Don't worry about it. I have an important mission to complete with you. When Yi Zichen returned to the car, he took out his phone and called Big Sis Stone Fairy from yesterday. Stone Fairy, are you there? Yes. Stone Fairy replied almost instantly. Yi Zichen subconsciously looked towards Xia Kiki. You know how to put on makeup, right? Yi Zichen had known Xia Kiki and company for a long time, but he didn't seem to have seen them put on makeup. Even if they did, it would only be light. They had always been barefaced. He really wondered if this group of girls had neglected their makeup homework because of their natural beauty. Don't ask stupid questions like that. Xia Kiki rolled her eyes. Do you think there's a university student who doesn't know how to put on makeup? I've never seen it before. I thought you wouldn't know. TSK. Xia Kiki curled her lips. I'm just too lazy to do it properly. I'm afraid of making those mediocre women jealous to death. The more beautiful a girl is, the better she can put on makeup, understand? Yi Zichen smiled wryly when he saw her tsundra look. All right, as long as you know how to put on makeup. What? Don't tell me you want me to teach you how to put on makeup. Xia Kiki clicked her tongue in wonder as if she had discovered a new continent. I couldn't tell you. I'll definitely tell Susu when I get back. Don't think too much. Yi Zichen rolled his eyes, then replied to Stone Fairy. Do you have time? How about I help you become beautiful now? I always have time, the Stone Fairy replied instantly. What do you need me to do? Yes, I want to receive a red envelope. Without saying anything else, Yi Zichen sent her a set of cosmetics that Xia Kiki bought. Ding dong. Stone Fairy has received your red packet. What are these? TSK, the ingredients are so lousy and it's even harmful to the body. Yi Zichen was just afraid that Stone Fairy would retort, so he specially bought high-end cosmetics. However, he was still ridiculed. That's okay, our modern realm can't compare to the heavenly court. Let's just admit that we're not good at mocking them. It doesn't matter what the ingredients are or what the material is like. These can make you more beautiful. Just tell me if you want them or not. Can these broken toys make me beautiful? The Stone Fairy said in disbelief. All right, the person little brother Yang Jian introduced wouldn't lie to me. Tell me, what should I do? This fairy was definitely a tough woman in the heavenly court. Yi Zichen thought to himself, then handed the phone to Xia Kiki. What? Don't tell me you want me to teach Stone Fairy how to put on makeup. I don't want to do it. Who knows if it's one of your mistresses outside? Don't think too much, this is a fairy from the heavenly court. I'm going to start a makeup class in the heavenly court. Heavenly court? Xia Kiki's eyes instantly lit up. She snatched the phone over with a giggle and muttered. This is the first time I've interacted with someone from the heavenly court in my entire life. Although that was what she said, the moment she got the phone, she immediately started to chat with the Stone Fairy without any hesitation. After a good half an hour passed, Xia Kiki instilled all of the makeup knowledge she knew into the Stone Fairy's head. You can become pretty just by smearing this crap on your face? The Stone Fairy still didn't quite believe it. These cosmetics were truly too low level in her eyes, yet Xia Kiki made it sound like it was some sort of miracle. Trust me, it's fine. With that, Xia Kiki sent the makeup video that Yi Zichen had prepared a long time ago over to the Stone Fairy. Just follow what I've told you and follow the tutorial on it. Wait a moment, I'll research it. The Stone Fairy clicked on the video with a doubtful attitude, then frowned as she looked at the bottles in front of her. At that moment, Xia Kiki also handed the phone over with a smile. Done. Yi Zichen rubbed her head with a smile. I'll remember that. I'll remember that. No, I used up too much of my energy to lecture the fairy just now. There's a new dessert shop near our school. Take me there to eat. Sure. Tell me the location, I'll take you there. Yi Zichen drove away with a smile. At the same time, Yao Yu and her roommates also returned to the dorm. Yao Yu did not say a single word along the way. The other roommates thought that she was depressed after witnessing her boyfriend cheat. What they didn't know was that she was nervous. If Yi Zichen exposed her in front of her, then what would the consequences be? Yao Yu, don't mind it too much. It's very normal for a man of his level to have a few women outside, the rich girl in the dorm comforted. The rich girl in the dormitory comforted her. All you have to do is be tolerant. When he's done playing outside, you'll still be the one standing next to him. Yao Yu bit her lips and struggled in her heart. There were many times when she really wanted to tell the truth, but that damned vanity. All right, I understand you, but I still advise you not to mind it too much, the rich girl smiled. The rich girl chuckled. Her roommates around her couldn't help but ridicule her. I really didn't expect him to actually be like this. What a waste of me following his Weibo. I'm going to unfollow him. Quite a few girls ran to the computer, while the rich girl stayed in front of Yao Yu to comfort her. Approximately half an hour later, one of Yao Yu's roommates suddenly stood up with a frown and clapped her hands with a smile. The girl that stood beside Yao Yu's boyfriend just now is our school's school beauty, right? Hee, now she's infamous. With that, the surrounding girls all surrounded her. Then, they saw that it was a thread about Xia Kiki that was pinned at the top of the school's BBS forum. When they saw the content, slap. Yao Yu slapped the girl's face and shouted like a madman. Who told you to do that? At the same time, Xia Kiki, who was tasting desserts at a dessert shop near the school, also rang. Her expression drastically changed the moment she placed the phone beside her ear. Then, she quickly hung up and logged onto the school's website. Chapter 373. The guilty party accuses the accused. Xia Kiki's face turned green as she held her phone. Yi Zichen pulled her hand over in confusion, then clenched his fist tightly when he saw the post on the phone. Yi Zichen took out his phone and directly called Suiyun. Yezi. Who's in charge of the school forum right now? Hurry up and get that person to delete the post about Xia Kiki, and find out where the IP address is. Yi Zichen's tone was filled with unconcealable anger. The person who posted it was too much. They were clearly intentionally slandering Xia Kiki. What happened? On the other end of the line, Suiyun was stunned. There's a post about Xia Kiki on the school's website. The content of the post is intentionally slandering her. Now that there are a lot of posts, the post is also highlighted and pinned to the top. Is there such a thing? I'll take care of it immediately. After Yi Zichen hung up the call, he looked up and saw Xia Kiki clenching her fist tightly with a cold expression. She couldn't be blamed for being so angry. The content of the post was just too much. Kiki, I've already asked Suiyun to delete the post. Calm down, I'll definitely help you vent your anger when I find out who did it. Yi Zichen handed his hand over. Xia Kiki, who received the phone, threw it onto the ground, causing it to shatter. This scene caused all the customers in the store to turn around. Xia Kiki narrowed her eyes and snorted. I'm really a little angry. The faint shadow of a golden dragon was released from her body, and all the customers in the store shrunk their necks and hurriedly turned their heads away, not daring to look at what was going on. Don't mind it too much. Yi Zichen comforted. I don't care. Xia Kiki smiled faintly. Her exquisite face was so cold that people couldn't help but shiver. You call me a mistress, I admit it. But the person who wrote this post said that I'm being kept by a rich man. TSK. I'm really curious now. Which rich man is keeping me? Why haven't I received any money? Xia Kiki was truly angered. Not to mention her, even Yi Zichen was rather angered by the post. Buzz. At that moment Yi Zichen's phone rang. It was Suiyun. How is it? I've already asked someone to delete the post. I've also found out the IP of the poster. Tell me the location. The girl who posted the thread covered her face and stood in the room, not daring to move. Yao Yu sat on the bed with a frosty expression, her heart thumping non-stop. It's really all over now. She immediately asked the girl to delete the post, but when they were about to delete it, the system notified them that the post had already been deleted. After receiving this news, her heart sank again and again. Yao Yu, don't be so angry. That woman stole your boyfriend, it's good to teach her a lesson. The rich girl tried to comfort Yao Yu. Yao Yu bit her lip and shook her head. You don't understand. She gripped her phone tightly in her hand, while Yi Zichen's phone number was displayed on the screen. She had been hesitating on whether she should call him or not. Bang. The door to the dorm was kicked open. Xia Kik's lips curled into a cold smile as she glanced at the girls in the room. Who sent it? Behind her was Yi Zichen, who had an awkward expression, while behind the two of them was the club manager. You can't fight, the school has rules. Do you youngsters not want to stay in Polytechnic University anymore? The club manager said sternly. Xia Kiki looked at the people in the dorm indifferently as if she didn't hear anything. I'll ask again. I'll ask again. Who posted it? Step forward. Who are you trying to scare? I posted the thread, so what? The girl who posted the thread straightened her neck. You seduced someone's boyfriend, and you're not letting people talk about it? So it's you. Xia Kiki squinted her eyes and nodded with a smile. Whose boyfriend did I seduce? Tell me. Yeah, enough. Just as the girl was about to speak, Yao Yu, who was sitting on the bed, suddenly stood up and quickly walked in front of Xia Kiki, then lowered her head and apologized. Sorry, it was my roommate's fault. I'll apologize to you in her place. Can we just let this go? It has nothing to do with you, go back up. Xia Kiki squinted her eyes. Xia Kiki narrowed her eyes and said, I came here to find out just which rich man is keeping me as his mistress. Please tell me so I can ask him for money. Can you stop asking? Yao Yu roared at Xia Kiki. At that moment, her heart was in a mess. She subconsciously looked towards Yi Zichen and her surrounding roommates, then made up her mind. You seduced my boyfriend and even came over to interrogate my roommates so arrogantly. Do you have any shame? I gave you face and wanted to let this matter go, but why did you still climb all over me? Do you really think that I won't get angry? Yeah, Yao Yu, that's how a legal wife should be. Her surrounding roommates immediately supported her, while they also started to curse at her for being shameless, a fox spirit, etc. Seduced your boyfriend? Xia Kiki suddenly laughed. You still have the face to laugh? Yao Yu already had no way out when she didn't reveal her cards. She could only use lie after lie to cover up everything that was a lie in the first place. She could have revealed her cards just now, but she was afraid that her roommates would say that now that there were more and more onlookers, she was afraid that she would bear the reputation of being shameless. She was afraid that she wouldn't be able to hold her head up high in front of others in the future. Thus, she had no other choice but to go with the flow and complain first. Yi Zichen is clearly my boyfriend, but I can tolerate men being fickle. I can also turn a blind eye to him having you outside. My roommates merely helped me vent my anger. What's more, the thread has already been deleted, yet you actually dare to come here and cause trouble. Yao Yu's words caused both Xia Kiki and Yi Zichen to be shocked. Do you have any shame? Xia Kiki wanted to laugh when she said that. She had never seen such a shameless woman in her entire life. You know best who's the shameless one. Yao Yu also wanted to laugh. Even if Yi Zichen spoke up now, she definitely wouldn't back down. A few days ago, in order to make her roommates completely believe that Yi Zichen was her boyfriend, she specially went to the phone store to recover all of their past photos. You clearly cheated. You and Yi Zichen have already been separated for 2 months, and you still dare to say that he's your boyfriend? Bullshit. Yao Yu said with a dark expression. If you want to pour dirty water on me, why don't you take a look at yourself first? Xia Kiki nearly caused Yao Yu to tremble in anger. She moved her lips, but didn't know what to say to retort. You can't say anything? A mistress is a mistress. With that, Yao Yu looked up towards Yi Zichen with a cold smile. Control your mistress. Take care of your mistress. I'll give you enough face outside, but don't go overboard and let her disturb my peace. Gradually, the discussions in the surroundings became louder and louder, while all of them were negative comments about Yi Zichen and Xia Kiki. Xia Kiki was a girl, so how could she endure this sort of slander? At that moment, Yi Zichen, who had maintained his silence, suddenly patted her shoulder, then took a step forward and looked at Yao Yu with a hint of helplessness. Chapter 374. Chapter 374. Completely ruined. Stop. Yao Yu's eyes were filled with madness. How could she stop when it had already gotten to this point? She had no choice but to continue making mistakes like this. What do you mean? What? She served you well, and now that you have a successful career, you feel like I'm not worthy of you? Yi Zichen, don't forget who accompanied you through your most difficult times. Yi Zichen's emotional look instantly caused the surrounding girls to denounce him. At that moment, Yi Zichen's gaze was like that of an elder looking at a pitiful child. Yao Yu felt a bit uncomfortable from that gaze. She raised her eyebrows, then slapped Yi Zichen. You heartless man, F***ck off. I don't want to see you, F***ck off. Tell the truth now, and I can pretend that nothing happened. Apologize to Xia Kiki and this will be over, okay? I'll apologize to her. You two aren't any good people, F***ck off. She grabbed the pillow on the bed and threw it at Yao Yu. This time, Yi Zichen did not allow her to vent. He caught the pillow, then walked to the side of Yao Yu's bed indifferently and put it down. Then, he turned around. He had already forgiven her enough, but she didn't want to turn around. Yi Zichen pulled Xia Kiki's trembling hand and left under everyone's condemnation. The moment they walked out of the dorm, Yao Yu fell onto the floor with a thump. Her eyes twitched intensely as she grabbed her hair tightly with her right hand. Just what was I doing just now? Yao Yu, don't cry. That heartless man let you down. Her roommates in the dorm surrounded her, while the students who were watching outside also walked in to comfort her. In this battle between the truth and lies, she won everyone's recognition with her superb acting skills. She won. Yes, it's that heartless man who let me down. Yao Yu stood up with red eyes and walked in front of the computer. She opened the school's forum and directly posted a thread in her own name. The thread was filled with intimate photos of her and Yi Zichen, as well as slandering Yi Zichen, Xia Kiki and all the women around him. At that moment, she had already gone completely mad. Not long ago, she had created a dream for herself. Not long ago, she was very clear that it was all a dream, and that she would wake up from a dream one day. But now, she was completely immersed in the dream and could not come out. Xia Kiki already had a lot of attention in the Polytechnic University. Adding on the fact that there was a thread saying that she was a mistress, and now there was someone reporting her, the number of threads instantly reached a new height. This time, Xia Kiki wasn't the only one in the thread. Su Yan, Lu Lu, the other school beauties of the Polytechnic University, and even Xiao Yumei were involved. Buzz, the phone on the table rang. Yao Yu looked at the message on the screen with red eyes. Are you really going to keep making mistakes? The sender was Yi Zichen. Don't talk nonsense. You're the one who wronged me, so don't blame me. Just wait for your reputation to be ruined. Yao Yu coldly laughed as she replied. Then, she threw her phone onto the bed and started to post on various forums. She didn't just want the school to know, she wanted the entire world to know that Yi Zichen was a heartless man, and that the women around him were all shameless mistresses. She wanted to ruin this group of people. In the dorm, Yi Zichen smiled wryly when he saw Yao Yu's message. Even now, he still wanted to give this pitiful woman, Yao Yu, a chance, but she was stubborn. Yeezy, she's already like this, there's no need for you to worry about her anymore. F***ck, this shamelessness has truly reached a whole new level. If lousy was her, then I would definitely slap this dumb girl to death. So shameless. Wow, I've never seen such a shameless person in my life. His roommates also paid attention to the situation on the forums, so they all turned into keyboard warriors and clarified things for Yi Zichen and company in the comments. Never mind, since you like being ruined, then I'll grant your wish. Yi Zichen let out a sad sigh. He clearly didn't want things to get to this point. But why didn't she listen to me? Yi Zichen dialed the number on the top of his phone and said coldly, "Let's begin." In a short 10-odd minutes, threads regarding the truth of the matter started to appear on the school's website and various forums. The threads also clearly stated the relationship between Yi Zichen and Yao Yu, as well as their relationship issues. There was even strong evidence that Yao Yu was cheating. Within 3 hours, the search index for Yi Zichen, Yao Yu and company skyrocketed. As all sorts of trump cards were revealed, the truth became even more confusing. For a moment, the opinions on the various forums started to differ. Yao Yu, who had been paying attention to all of this, even smiled faintly. "You're forcing me." As soon as she finished speaking, she contacted the leader of the Internet Water Army that she had already contacted. "It's time for you guys to appear." Yi Zi, that B*TCH hired a water army. Zhang Rui raised his eyebrows and said, "I've already asked a friend I know to turn down this job, but she's going all out. She's hired a sea of ghostwriters, and now all the comments on the forum are pointing towards you. Maintaining Beauty's stock market is also in turmoil," said Suiyun with a frown. Since Yi Zichen was the highest leader of Maintaining Beauty Corporation, the negative comments that flooded the internet naturally affected Maintaining Beauty Corporation. She really threw caution to the wind. "I didn't want to use these cards. This is a huge blow to her." Yi Zichen sighed softly. Suiyun twitched his mouth and snorted. "It's already like this, what's there to worry about? What's there to worry about at a time like this? My little sister is also involved. Even if you don't want to make a big deal out of it, I can't just let it go like this." Yi Zichen nodded silently, then took out his phone to make another call. "You can release it now." At that moment, Yao Yu sat on the chair proudly. Striking first was useful no matter what situation it was. Right now, the internet was filled with comments against Yi Zichen and company, while she was the victim. This time, not only did she not lose, she even became an internet celebrity. However, just as she was feeling smug, a bunch of videos suddenly appeared on various forums. The moment she clicked on the videos, her face instantly froze. All of the videos were taken by surveillance cameras, and were of her mocking Yi Zichen when she was with Guochang, as well as all sorts of records of her and Guochang getting a room together. At the same time, a man who called himself Guochang's narration also appeared on various websites. Botham. Yao Yu's face turned pale as she sat limply on the floor, while her body started to tremble intensely. At the same time, Yi Zichen, who was watching Guochang's narration, shook his head and looked at the message asking for Yao Yu. Chapter 375. Beauty Endorser. The scope of this incident was extremely broad, and the people involved were also extremely topical. Almost all of the names that appeared in the thread became trending terms. Among them, Yao Yu and Yi Zichen's searches were the highest. Yao Yu's gamble had caused the situation to become irreversible. The online media was still broadcasting Guochang's narration, and the images captured by the surveillance cameras had hit tens of millions of views. But the result of all this, she had lost. Her hands trembled as she held her head. When the other roommates in the room saw the surveillance video and Guochang's live broadcast, the way they looked at Yao Yu changed. "I think I saw this guy by Yao Yu's side before. Yao Yu, is it fun?" The rich girl also stood up from the bed. She tilted her head and looked at her with a playful sneer. "Just for a few clothes and a few bags. Did you have to lie to us for so long? Do you still have any shame? Should I say that you are scheming, or should I say that we are stupid? We actually never suspected you. If you didn't want something from me, would you let me lie to you?" You can't blame me for this, since one of us is willing to take the hit and the other is willing to take the hit. Yao Yu stood up from the ground with a cold smile on her face. The rich girl shrugged her shoulders and nodded noncommittally. Indeed. I can't deny that I want something from you. But now it seems like I can't get anything. Of course, I'll give it to you. I don't care about those junk at all. But now you're infamous. Also, we have to settle the score for lying to me. As soon as she finished speaking, under Yao Yu's slightly frightened gaze, the rich girl took out her phone and dialed a number. Yi, not bad. That move of yours is definitely a killer move. Su Yun hooked his arm around Yi Zichen's shoulder with a smile, then raised his eyebrows as he looked at the stock market. If there are no surprises, our corporation's stock prices will definitely start to rise from tomorrow onwards. The influence of this incident will at least keep you in the spotlight for the next half a month. Yao Yu, that bitch, never in her wildest dreams would she have thought that her big move would only benefit us. Everyone in the dorm nodded with a smile, as if they had won a battle. However, Yi Zichen was not happy at all. Was this really the result he wanted to see? He clearly didn't want things to escalate to this point, but why didn't she listen at that time? Ding dong. Your intimacy level with Stone Fairy increased by 200. Current intimacy level, 400. His phone suddenly vibrated. He took it out and looked at the system notification. Not long after, a 1 appeared on the chat box with Stone Fairy. Kid, you really didn't lie to me. The Stone Fairy was so happy that she was about to go crazy. She didn't expect that the junk she thought could actually make her beautiful. Although she spent the whole afternoon studying her makeup, she did not go out of the room to let others see. However, she believed that as long as she strolled around the Heavenly Court's southern Heavenly Gate, she would definitely be able to shock those stinky men. Due to Yao Yu's situation, Yi Zichen was rather depressed. He replied calmly. Stone Fairy spoke again. Tell me, what do you want me to help you with? As long as I can do it, I won't hesitate. No need for too much trouble, just walk around the Heavenly Court more often. When chatting with the deities in the Heavenly Court, just let them know that I'm going to start a makeup class. If they are interested, you can add them to the group. With that, Yi Zichen added Erling Shin and Stone Fairy into a new group. Erling Shin, bro, this group. Oh wow, Heavenly Court's makeup class. Stone Fairy. Little brother Yang Jian, come out with big sister to walk around later. Erling Shin, don't. What followed was a line of emojis with cold sweat. Stone Fairy, if you want to die, then don't come. Yi Zichen ignored their conversation in the group, then clicked on his chat with Stone Fairy and spoke once again. That group just now is the makeup group. If anyone is interested, then tell them to come. The class will start when the group has 20 people. No problem, I can do something as small as this, Stone Fairy replied without any hesitation. Is there anything else you need my help with? At that moment, Yi Zichen didn't want to think too much about it, so he shook his head. I don't think so right now. I'll tell you when I think of something. Oh yeah, remember to use the massage lotion, it will help your skin and body a lot. No problem. After the chat ended, Stone Fairy even Yang Jian in the group and told him to get ready to go shopping with her. Yang Jian sat on the rattan chair with a sullen expression. His scalp felt numb as he looked at Stone Fairy's message. Going out with this big sis is definitely a very magical experience. Yang Jian licked his lips, then sent a flurry of messages in his chat with Yi Zichen. Bro, say it. Yi Zichen was about to put down his phone and rest, but when he saw Yang Jian's message, he was able to roughly guess what the guy wanted to ask him. Stone Fairy's makeup succeeded. You can try going out with her. You won't lose face. Bro, you understand me, Yang Jian replied instantly with a smile. Yi Zichen shook his head helplessly, then chucked his phone to the side of the bed, flipped onto the bed and spaced out as he looked at the ceiling. Mom, I don't want to go to school anymore. Yao Yu curled up her body and squatted in the corner of a private room. At this moment, her clothes were tattered and there were many palm prints on her face and body. She was sobbing with her mother on the phone when the door to the private room was suddenly pushed open. A thin man walked in with a smile on his face. Yao Yu subconsciously hung up the phone, her eyes filled with fear as she looked at the man. Tsk, what a pitiful worm. The man's gaze was filled with pity as he walked over. He held Yao Yu's chin with his right hand and said, "You don't look too bad, what do you want?" "Don't worry." The man caressed her cheek, then raised his eyebrows with a smile. "According to what I know, you became like this because of Yizichen, right?" "No. I only have myself to blame." Yao Yu shook her head vigorously, but the man shook his head and denied it. "No, it's Yizichen's fault. If he still had a little bit of care for you, he wouldn't have been so ruthless, and you wouldn't have become a street rat that everyone wants to kill." "No, stop denying it. Actually, you already know in your heart, don't you? Don't you want those people who bullied you to pay the price? Don't you want Yizichen and the women around him to lose their reputations and feel what you're feeling right now?" "I want to." Yao Yu suddenly looked up. She bit her lips and clenched her fist. "Isn't that right?" The man touched Yao Yu's face with a smile, then moved his hand down her neck. Yao Yu subconsciously wanted to refuse, but the man also spoke up at that moment. Chapter 376. School Murder. Late at night, Yao Yu returned to the dormitory with a cold smile on her face. The girls in the dormitory were still sitting together and discussing about her. "I can't believe someone could be so shameless." "That's right. He even deceived so many of us. She even slapped me once. Just thinking about it makes me angry." "What's there to be angry about?" The rich girl in the dormitory smiled playfully. She played with her fingers lightly and said with disdain, "I've already taught her a lesson for you guys. Didn't she slap you once? I'll make her slap you 10 times. Sister Jing is the best." The girls in the dormitory smiled flatteringly. Bang. At this moment, the door to the dormitory was suddenly kicked open. When everyone turned around, they saw Yao Yu walk in with her tattered clothes. "You still have the face to come back?" The rich girl smiled playfully. She glanced at Yao Yu's tattered clothes and raised her eyebrows. Tsk, looks like you're enjoying yourself. It's a pity I didn't record it." Yao Yu's lips suddenly curled into a cold smile. The rich girl raised her hand to hit her when she saw her. "Little cutie, you can't hit my baby." Her outstretched hand was suddenly grabbed by a man. The girls in the dormitory looked at the man in front of them in shock. There was no one behind Yao Yu just now. "Who are you? Let go of me." The rich girl struggled with all her might. Yao Yu suddenly raised her hand and slapped her fiercely. "Yao Yu!" The rich girl was about to go crazy. She had never been bullied like this before. The corner of her mouth curled into a sinister smile. At this moment, a sharp dagger suddenly appeared in her hand. The rich girl suddenly stopped talking. Her lips trembled as she smiled apologetically. "Yao Yu, don't be rash. Didn't you say that you liked that CEO? I'll give it to you." What do you think? Do I need it?" Yao Yu suddenly sneered. The dagger in her hand stabbed towards the rich girl's neck without hesitation. Blood spurted out 1/2 meter high from her neck. When the other girls saw this, they wanted to run out of Wang's dormitory like crazy, but when they reached the door, they found that no matter how hard they tried, they couldn't get out. Bang! Yao Yu casually pushed the rich girl to the ground, causing her to fall powerlessly onto the ground. At the same time, Yao Yu turned around and walked towards the other girls with her dagger. Buzz, 6 o'clock the next morning. The sky had just brightened when an ear-piercing siren sounded from the Polytechnic University's campus. Many students were woken up by the sound of the horn, including Yizichen. He opened his eyes in a daze and subconsciously picked up his phone to look at his social media app. He saw that White Impermanence had sent him a message. "I'm going to work at the Polytechnic University. Is it near your place?" The Polytechnic University was on duty. Could it be that someone from the Polytechnic University died? He put his phone aside with a blank look on his face. When he looked up, he saw that the other people in the dormitory had already gotten up from their beds. This was too abnormal. No, what happened? Why did you guys wake up so early? What's with the siren outside? A murder happened in our girls' dormitory. Yao Yu came back in the middle of the night last night and killed all the girls in her dormitory. The people from the police, public security department and education department all came. Our school is in a mess right now. Zhang Rui pushed up his glasses and replied with a frown. Yi Zichen immediately sat up on the bed after hearing the news. What? Murder? Yi Zichen put on his clothes in a hurry, then hurried to the girls' dormitory as fast as he could without even washing up. 10-odd police cars were parked in front of the dormitory, while the police continuously moved around the scene. Plenty of girls in pajamas and slippers were being investigated, but all of them said that they didn't hear any abnormal sounds last night. Zichen Gij. Su Yen and her roommates were also downstairs. When they saw Yi Zichen, they all ran over. Murder, Yao Yu killed everyone in her dormitory? Even now, Yi Zichen didn't dare to imagine that she would actually do something like that. Sun Yaij, who was on the side, nodded, while her twitching eyes revealed the fear in her heart. She killed them all. When we passed by her dormitory just now, we saw that their room was covered in blood. Then who reported it? Yi Zichen frowned. Su Yen raised her eyebrows. It seems to be Guo Jing from their dormitory. She didn't stay in the dormitory last night. When she came back, she noticed the situation, so she reported it. Guo Jing. It's the rich girl from their dormitory. Xia Kiki also frowned. You've seen her before. When we went to Yao Yu's dormitory yesterday, she was standing beside Yao Yu. That girl. Yi Zichen nodded in understanding, but his heart was still in shock. He couldn't understand why Yao Yu would actually kill people. Could it be that he forced her to do it? It's him. At that moment, a shout suddenly sounded out beside Yi Zichen. Yi Zichen turned around and saw Guo Jing walk over with a few police officers with red eyes. It's this person. If it wasn't for him, Yao Yu wouldn't have done such a crazy thing. Guo Jing, shut your stinky mouth. Xia Kiki raised her eyebrows. What about Yi Zichen? Why does Yao Yu killing people have anything to do with him? Yeah, not only him, but you guys as well. Guo Jing pointed at them with a sad expression. If it wasn't for you guys, would Yao Yu have been forced into such a state? You mistresses stole Yao Yu's boyfriend. Also, you, Yi Zichen, aren't any good person either. Heartless man, you started to mess around outside when you got money. At that moment, a stretcher covered in white cloth was carried out. When Guo Jing saw this, she immediately leaped towards the stretcher and cried out. Yao Yu, why did you have to be so stupid? At the same time, a few police officers also walked over. Captain, the investigation has been completed. As for the cause of death, the preliminary judgment is that it was caused by a sharp weapon. As for the rest of the results, we will have to wait for the forensic report. Aha, got it. Let's go. The police officer waved his hand at the team members, then turned around to look at Yi Zichen and company and said, You're welcome. Sorry, you guys also need to come back to the police station with us for investigation. Okay. Yi Zichen nodded without thinking, and his gaze lingered on the stretchers. Chapter 377. Substitute in the interrogation room. Yi Zichen sighed as he sat on the chair. At that moment, the police officer who had appeared at the scene also walked in and placed his notebook on the table. Just now, I had a brief understanding of the situation from Guo Jing. I don't think I can accuse you of anything. Yi Zichen nodded silently. After a while, he finally spoke. Are they all dead? All dead. The police officer nodded noncommittally. After the perpetrator killed all the victims, he committed suicide. Now that the case has been finalized, there's nothing to investigate. You're safe now. Is that so? Yi Zichen nodded with a wry smile, then stood up from the chair. When he left the interrogation room, he saw that the door was already filled with people waiting for him. There was no need to mention Su Yan and company. Even Lu Qing's father, Chief Lu, had come. "You're here too." With a bitter smile, Chief Lu nodded noncommittally. "I heard from little Zhang that you were in trouble, so I came over to take a look. How is it? What's the situation?" "It's nothing." Yi Zichen shook his head with a smile. "You should receive the report soon." At that moment, the police officer that chatted with Yi Zichen just now walked out. When he saw Commissioner Liu, he immediately walked over quickly. "Chief Liu, why are you here?" "I happen to have a case to discuss with you." "What do you think?" "Let's go." When Commissioner Liu and the police officer left, Yi Zichen and company also left the police station. Along the way, Yi Zichen felt very depressed. Murder. Suicide. Why did she do that at that time? Ding dong. The phone in his pocket rang. He took it out and saw that the message was from White Impermanent. "Where are you? Let's meet up. It's been a long time since we last met." "Where are you right now?" Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows. "I'm still at Polytechnic University. I just caught these kids." White Impermanence replied. "Then wait for me at the Polytechnic University. I'll be right back." "All right." Approximately 10 odd minutes later, Yi Zichen returned to school and headed straight to the girls' dormitory. Not far away, White Impermanence was circling the 4 spirits in her hands. "Hey, you're here." When White Impermanence saw Yi Zichen, she immediately ran over. He subconsciously glanced at the ghosts in her hands. These ghosts were the girls from Yao Yu's dorm. However, the strangest thing about the girls was that their gazes were rather blank. Even when they saw Yi Zichen, they didn't seem to recognize him. This was strange. Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows. At that moment, he suddenly noticed that Yao Yu's ghost wasn't here. "You only caught 4 souls here? Didn't 5 die?" "When I was on duty, I did say that 5 people had died, but when I came here, I found 4 of them. These little fellows are quite pitiful. Their souls have been taken away. Even if they reincarnate, they can only be idiots. 1 soul and 1 spirit were extracted." Yi Zichen was shocked. King Qingguang had also told him that the ghosts he had encountered in the underworld recently were all ghosts that were missing a part of their soul. At that time, he had suspected that it was the work of the devil race. Could it be that the devil race had already extended their hands here? But where did Yao Yu's soul go? Strange, too strange. Yi Zichen frowned. Fiery eyes of truth, activate. A faint golden light floated out from his eyes. When he looked towards the girls' dormitory, he noticed that there wasn't any demonic energy in the building at all. If there really were demons here, then the demonic energy should be very dense. Even if a long time had passed, there would still be traces of it. However, he couldn't feel any demonic energy at all. "Hey, what are you thinking about?" White Impermanence waved her hand towards him. Only then did Yi Zichen return to his senses with a smile. "Nothing. I just wanted to see you. The underworld is rather busy, so I have to hurry back." "All right, then go ahead." In the blink of an eye, White Impermanence disappeared with the little ghost girls. From then on, Yi Zichen continued to stare at the girls' dormitory for a very, very long time. At the same time, within a business hotel, Guojing was wearing a bathrobe and sitting on the sofa in the room. Beside her was a man with a faint smile on his face. "How is it? Are you used to this body?" "It's all right," Guojing nodded. Guojing nodded. "But using someone else's body is always troublesome. I got a bit worried when her parents called just now." "What are you worried about?" "Just use her body at ease." The man took out a small glass bottle from his pocket with a feminine smile. "This bottle contains Guojing's soul. Just ask her if there's anything you don't understand." "Soul. Don't think about knowing too much. We are merely in a cooperative relationship right now." The man smiled once again. "From now on, you are Guojing. As for what you need to do in the future, I will arrange it for you. Actually, I feel like this is enough. I don't want to. This isn't a problem of whether you want to or not, my darling. The man patted Guojing's face and smiled. From the moment you agreed to switch bodies with me, you were already on my boat. It's impossible for you to give up halfway. Now, just work for me at ease. I won't mistreat you. Then when can I return to my own body? Guojing asked with a frown. That will depend on how obedient you are. With that, the man opened his bathrobe and spread his legs. Come, my darling. After Yi Zichen left the girls' dormitory, he did not return to his own. Instead, he returned to his mansion. Why are you in such a hurry? Yirong couldn't help but raise her eyebrows when she saw Yi Zichen's impatient look. Wait a moment, Mommy will go and wash some fruits for you. No need. Yi Zichen stopped Mother Yi. I came here to trouble you with something. What is it? Can you feel the existence of demons in Bingqing? With that, Mother Yi closed her eyes, and her body shone with a holy light. Not long later, she opened her eyes once again and shook her head. I don't feel anything. What? Did the demons extend their claws into Bingqing? A hint of anger flashed across Mother Ye's eyes. She did not have a good impression of the demons at all. And no, I'm just asking. Yi Zichen shook his head with a coy smile. It's nothing, go and do what you need to do. Okay, then Mom will wash the fruits for you. Yirong didn't think too much about it and turned to leave. Just then, Little White ran over with its tongue out. Boss, you're looking for demons? Chapter 378. Chapter 378. Don't use him. 3 days passed by in the blink of an eye. Just as Su Yun predicted, Maintaining Beauty Corporation's stock price rose several times in the past few days, causing the company's market value to multiply. Sorry, the comments online affected you quite a bit, right? Yi Zichen sat on the sofa in Xiao Yumei's office and said apologetically. She had basically not left the house for the past few days, and there was always a bunch of reporters in front of her door. It only improved slightly today. What's there to mind about that? I was just afraid that my words would cause an unnecessary impact. Otherwise, it's fine even if I admit that I'm your mistress. You aren't truly married yet, so I don't belong to breaking up your family relationship. What can those reporters say? Xiao Yumei stood up from the chair with a smile, then sat down beside Yi Zichen and kissed his cheek. What about you? You caused our Maintaining Beauty Corporation's stock price to rise so much. What reward do you want? If Xiao Yumei was this seductive at any other time, Yi Zichen might not be able to control himself. However, he had been troubled by the demons recently, so he wasn't in the mood. Take out a portion of the money and send it over to the victims' families. Even if I didn't order Yao Yu to kill people, she wouldn't have ended up like this if it wasn't for that incident. Xiao Yumei let out a sad sigh, then pursed her lips with a smile. My little man is truly kind. You don't need to say that, I've already taken care of it. That's for the best, Yi Zichen smiled. The two of them chatted for a while longer before it was lunchtime. Let's eat together, my little man. We haven't eaten together for a long time. It hasn't been that long, right? Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows. I just ate in the capital. He wanted to hurry back to the mansion. The reason why other people couldn't sense it was because the demonic energy was too weak, but Lil White could. It had been locking onto the demonic energy recently. Yi Zichen thought about going back to the mansion to ask Lil White about the situation. I said it's been a long time, so it's been a long time. Are you going or not? Xiao Yumei put her hands on her hips. Yi Zichen immediately shrugged helplessly when he saw her like that. Go, I'll go, all right? Humph. Only then did Xiao Yumei reveal a proud smile, then left the company with Yi Zichen by the arm. To be honest, Yi Zichen really didn't understand why the women around him liked to eat so much food. From his point of view, eating this wasn't as good as eating Northeast stew. The place Xiao Yumei brought him to was a newly opened Thai restaurant. Yi Zichen, who knew nothing about these things, naturally gave the right to order to great beauty Xiao. What's wrong? Can you be happier when you're eating with me? After ordering, Xiao Yumei couldn't help but ask when she noticed that Yi Zichen's eyebrows were knitted together. He had been like that ever since he was in the company. I'm thinking about something. There are too many things on my mind recently. Xiao Yumei immediately twitched her mouth, then reached out to grab his hand. Don't give yourself too much pressure. You're not the savior, understand? Yes. He nodded with a faint smile. Suddenly, an angry shout rang out in the restaurant. Waiter, waiter! What kind of lousy shop is this? The waiter quickly ran over with his hands by his side and asked with a questioning gaze, Sir, is there anything in our restaurant that you're dissatisfied with? I heard that your shop owner operates in elite mode. Normal people can't enter at all, right? It's like this, sir, the waiter nodded. The waiter nodded non-committally. Our shop focuses on the elite mode. Those who can enter our shop are all elites in a certain field. Then what's going on with their table? The man pointed at Yi Zichen's table with a frown and cursed. Why can't I tell that the people at that table have the aura of elites? They're just like some rich man's concubine and her gigolo. The waiter's expression drastically changed. Plenty of people in the surroundings looked towards Yi Zichen's table, but their expressions drastically changed when they saw the people at their table. Seriously, Yi Zichen shook his head with a wry smile. They just came to eat? Why did they have to cause so much trouble? What are you blanking out for? I want to ask those two people to leave. They've already seriously affected my appetite. I have guests coming later. What's going on? Song-en, do you like to find excitement so much? Yi Zichen, who didn't want to cause trouble, stood up and walked in front of Song-en with a snicker. What? Didn't I teach you enough on the plane? Oh wow, it's actually Junior. Song-en immediately smiled in confusion when he saw Yi Zichen. I didn't get a good look at your back just now. I definitely wouldn't have said that if I knew it was Junior. Sorry. Hee hee, do you know that you're sick? Song-en was stunned. Then he saw Yi Zichen point at his head. Retard. Say that again. Song-en's expression suddenly turned cold. At that moment, the restaurant's door was pushed open, and Deng Qing and Lu Qianqian walked in side by side. Elder Deng. Song-en immediately stopped the sullen expression on his face, and walked over with a warm smile. Song-en, you learned in America for so long, yet you still know to come back and work for us. Not bad. It's only right, Song-en nodded with a smile. Song-en nodded with an apologetic smile. Then, he suddenly noticed Yi Zichen, who was on the side. Lil Yi is here as well. Grandpa, your eyes are really… I'm a grown man standing here, can you not look so surprised? Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows. Deng Qing immediately chuckled. My eyes aren't so good when I'm old. Isn't it normal that I didn't see it? Song-en couldn't help but frown when he saw the two of them chatting more and more enthusiastically. Elder Deng, you know this, Junior? Naturally. Let me introduce Song-en to you. The one in front of me is called Yi Zichen. His medical skills are also very amazing. Even I might have to learn from him. Deng Qing smiled modestly. Jing Qing smiled modestly, but Song-en's expression grew uglier and uglier. Deng Cheng's expression changed when he noticed Song-en's expression. At that moment Yi Zichen smiled. Gramps, you couldn't have come here because Song-en invited you, right? Grandpa, did Song-en invite you here? He wants to be a doctor in your hospital? Yes. Deng Qing nodded. When he noticed the playful smile on Yi Zichen's face, he couldn't help but raise his eyebrows. What? Is there a problem? Chapter 379. Chapter 379. Plan 1 succeeds. What did you say? Song-en's expression turned cold, then he snorted playfully. Little fellow, this isn't a place for you to behave atrociously. Is that a place for you to behave atrociously? Yi Zichen smiled. I just told the Gramps to check carefully when choosing a doctor. What, you can't let me say it? At that moment, Deng Qing suddenly reached out towards Song and, "Sorry, Mr. Song, I feel like you can't work with our hospital anymore. I hope that you can find a better future in another hospital." Elder Deng's words shocked Song and Elder Deng. "You aren't joking, right? Just because of a single sentence from this brat, you—" "I believe Lil Ye's words," Deng Qing smiled. Hearing that, Song and couldn't help but curse with a frown. "Old fool. Can I interpret that as you cursing me?" Jing Cheng's expression suddenly turned cold, while Xiao Yumei chuckled. Xiao Yumei, who was beside him, also smiled. "Mr. Song, your words just now have already caused a huge problem for me. I will send my lawyer to submit a lawyer's letter to you later." "Z's, submit a lawyer's letter? So sorry, I'm an American citizen." Song raised his eyebrows and snorted, while his tone was filled with disdain. "You people want to sue me? Would you dare even if I gave you 10 guts? So cocky." Bang! Yi Zichen kicked Song, causing him to fall over. At the same time, he also snorted, "Not only are we going to sue you, we're going to beat you up. Not only are we going to sue you, but we're also going to beat you up." "What? Are you going to ask your American embassy to punish me? Seriously, instead of being a proper Huaxia person, you're acting all cocky like an American turtle. Don't forget, this is Huaxia." "Mr. Yi." The waitress also didn't know what to do. The store manager also hurried over and gulped when he saw the situation in front of him. The people fighting were all important people. He didn't dare to offend them. Don't mind it too much. If he really dares to complain, then tell him to complain about me. I'm the chairman of Maintaining Beauty Corporation, Yi Zichen. I'm waiting for you to submit a lawyer's letter. No matter how you want to fight the lawsuit, I will accompany you to the end." Yi Zichen smiled, then looked at Song, who was lying on the ground, with a mocking smile. "Remember, I'm called Yi Zichen. Come and punish me." Before he left, he couldn't help but give Song a kick before leaving. However, no one noticed that Song, who was lying on the ground, suddenly smirked. He put on an angry expression and shouted that he wanted to go to the embassy. Just as he was about to leave the restaurant, he pulled out his phone and laughed sinisterly. "Master, the first plan has been successfully implemented." After they left the restaurant, Yi Zichen and company found a nearby restaurant. When they sat down, Jing Qingkai raised his eyebrows. "What do you think? Xiao Yi, why did you say that I shouldn't use Song just now? It looks like there's some conflict between the two of you." Yi Zichen was rather happy that Deng Qing was able to support him unconditionally. It was worth it for him to help this Gramps solve so many problems. "I don't even have a conflict with him." Yi Zichen let out a soft sigh, then told Jing Qing about his and Song An's situation on the plane, as well as what happened in the restaurant. "Fortunately, we didn't let him enter the hospital. Otherwise, such a person would definitely have a bad impact on our hospital in the future." Jing Qing squinted his eyes and answered. Lu Qianqian, who was beside him, didn't say a word and kept fiddling with her chopstick. "Lucy, why don't you speak?" Yi Zichen smiled when he saw her silence. Lu Qianqian immediately rolled her eyes in annoyance. "That's enough." Jing Qing could not help but chuckle inwardly when he saw this. Soon after, he raised his eyebrows and said, "Xiao Yi, do you still remember what I promised you the last time we went to treat old Lin?" "Ah!" Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows in shock. "Didn't I say that I would introduce you to my granddaughter?" "Lu Qianqian, my granddaughter. What do you think? You too, cough cough." Yi Zichen suddenly coughed intensely, while Lu Qianqian's face also turned red. "Grandfather." Lu Qianqian hammered Jing Cheng's shoulder, but he chuckled. "Xiao Ye's medical skills are definitely worthy of you. What, are you still not satisfied?" On the side, Xiao Yumei maintained a faint smile. She didn't express her displeasure, nor did she express her agreement. Yi Zichen's heart raced. "This geezer is seriously. He's screwing me over." Yi Zichen did not believe that someone as experienced as Deng Qing wouldn't be able to tell the relationship between him and Xiao Yumei. What's more, there was Huang Xingmei in the hospital. This geezer should know. Why did he still come over to join in the fun? He's definitely screwing me over. Yi Zichen couldn't help but retort in his heart. However, Deng Cheng's face was filled with a faint smile. How about it, Lily? How about we talk about this when we have time? Yi Zichen smiled wryly. At this moment, Deng Qing also nodded. Sure, my granddaughter is just shy. You two should contact each other more in private. Grandpa! Lu Qianqian called out again. Only then did Deng Qing calm down, then he picked up a pig trotter and raised his eyebrows. This store's pig trotters are pretty good. As Yi Zichen sat in Xiao Yumei's car, he studied her expression and thought about how to explain it to her. No need to explain it to me. No matter how many women you have, I will stay by your side. Yumei, that geezer is screwing me over. That geezer is really experienced, God knows what he's planning, Yi Zichen smiled coyly. Maybe. Don't mind so much, I'll directly send you back to the mansion. Since Tiantian wants to stay with me for the next 2 days, I'll directly stay at your place as well. Xiao Yumei nodded. Xiao Yumei nodded, then said, Let's not. I'll bring Tiantian over to my place. What if she gets in the way of you picking up girls? Just stop hiding it from me. Yi Zichen shrugged helplessly. Xiao Yumei also giggled without saying anything else. When they returned to the mansion, Mother Yi immediately pulled Xiao Yumei and Yi Zichen to chat. At the same time, Yi Zichen sat on the sofa and hooked his finger towards Lil White. Lil White immediately looked towards the second floor as if he was filming a spy movie, then ran over. Boss, how's the situation over there? Yi Zichen had been waiting for Lil White. As long as Lil White could confirm the location, then he would immediately charge over. The demons must be killed in the bud. I've locked onto the location, Lil White smiled proudly. Lil White smiled proudly. Yi Zichen immediately grabbed their front legs and lifted them up. Lil White, I have to remember this. Tell me, where are they? I can't tell you. Lil White suddenly shook his head. Yi Zichen immediately revealed a confused expression. Why aren't you telling me? Chapter 380. The Queen Mother's Birthday Die. Yi Zichen couldn't help but shiver when he saw the seriousness in Lil White's eyes. Little fellow, you're starting to joke around with boss, right? The demonic energy is clearly very weak. How could it be suicide? I'm a false earth immortal, all right? Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows with a smile, then patted Lil White's head. If you joke around with boss like this again, then you're going to run out of dog food. Do you really think I'm joking? Lil White was unmoved and spoke with sincerity. The strength of the demonic energy does not determine the strength of the opponent. I've calculated the chances of victory between the two of you, and the result is, how much? 1 in 10,000. Lil White smiled. Of course, I'm talking about you and the 2 strongest ones. There are also 2 weaker ones. I don't recommend you to mess with them, they might be together. Lil White's words had already caused Yi Zichen to shiver, but his words caused his scalp to tingle even more. 2 of them were stronger, and 2 of them were weaker. 4 demons had actually infiltrated Bingqing. Yi Zichen had been paying attention to the movements of the demons ever since he returned from the capital, and there was naturally no need to mention Mother Yi. However, they were actually able to hide from Mother Yi and Yi Zichen's detection, and there were 4 of them. Can you guarantee the accuracy? Yi Zichen asked doubtfully. However, Lil White nodded with a smile. 10,000% accuracy. I'm a male dog that's going to become a beast god. If I can't even detect puny demons, then how am I supposed to become a beast god? Slap. What greeted him was a merciless 5-fingered mountain. Stop bragging in front of me. If you're really amazing, then go and bite those demons to death. Lil White rolled his eyes. Xiao Bai rolled its eyes at Little White and spoke with some grievance, but it did not lose any of its pride. Tisk, give me some time to grow. When I truly become a beast god, I can scare them to death with a sneeze. Of course, I definitely can't beat them right now. Even Lil White felt a bit embarrassed when he said that. He scratched his head with a coy smile. Yi Zichen rubbed his head helplessly. I also want you to hurry up and become a beast god. I also want you to quickly become a beast god, then I won't be so tired anymore. Yi Zichen let out a long sigh, then spoke up once again. Tell me, what are the strengths of the two weaker ones? You're not going to deal with them, are you? I told you not to fight with them. Lil White asked worriedly. Yi Zichen knocked Lil White's head and chuckled. Is your boss such an idiot? I just want to know their strength, so that I can research how to defend against them. The people of the devil race have already come to Bingqing. I can't just sit and wait for death. It's fine if you put it that way. Only then did Xiaobai relax. He closed his eyes for a while before opening them again and spitting out words of truth. Those two are stronger, with strength above celestial immortals. As for the weaker ones, one of them has the strength of an earth immortal, while the other has the strength of a spiritual body. Yi Zichen nodded, then went to the treasure shop to buy a few packs of dog food for Lil White before returning to his room. Along the way, Mother Yi brought over some fruit. Yi Zichen wanted to tell her about the information he got from Lil White, but he resisted the urge. I can't let Mom get involved. As Yi Zichen held the apple in his hand, his gaze became more and more determined. It was very likely that the demons were coming for him. This damned reincarnation. Yi Zichen tugged at his hair. If it wasn't for the fact that he was the Yellow Emperor's reincarnation, then there wouldn't be so much trouble. What was infuriating was that those rogue immortals didn't even send any helpers for him. He didn't know how many more people the demons would send to deal with him in the future. It wasn't just the demons, even the half-beastmen were eyeing him. However, he only had this organization called Tribulation in his hands, and the members inside weren't particularly strong. However, he couldn't find anyone that was too strong in this sort of situation, so he could only use the time to groom them. Yi Zichen clenched his teeth, then took out his phone and opened WeChat to find Old Lord Taishang. Old Lord, come out and chat about Tu Yuan. At that moment, Old Lord Taishang was focusing on pill refinement in the heavenly court. The Queen Mother's birthday banquet was just around the corner, so he couldn't go empty-handed as the boss of the three pure ones. So, he had been staying in the pill refinement room for the past few days, and didn't even go out to play cards. The phone near the pill furnace rang. Old Lord Taishang raised his eyebrows and picked it up. When he saw the sender, he said to the two children in the pill refinement room, "Pay attention to the fire. I'm going to rest for a bit." "Yes, esteemed master." The two children focused on the fire. At that moment, Old Lord Taishang also walked back to his rattan chair and replied, "Why is Sky Sovereign Nameless so free? You actually came to find this old man." The two of them actually had a bit of a conflict before, but Old Lord Taishang had let it go under Yulao's persuasion. At that moment, he and Yi Zichen weren't exactly close, but they weren't enemies either. "Old Lord, I don't come to you for no reason. I want to ask if you have any treasures that can increase a person's strength." Old Lord Taishang raised his eyebrows then replied, "Sky Sovereign must be joking. How could I possibly have treasures that can help you increase your strength at your level? Even a level 9 celestial grade pill is useless to you. If I could really refine it, I would have ascended to become a true immortal long ago." Yi Zichen could tell from Old Lord Taishang's words that the geezer misunderstood, so he quickly explained. "It's not for me. I want to nurture a batch of disciples. Most of them are only at the spiritual body level, and the strongest is only at the false earth immortal level." Sky Sovereign actually wants to nurture disciples? They are truly lucky, Old Lord Taishang complimented with a smile. Old Lord Taishang flattered with a faint smile, then said, "I can refine pills of that level that I need, but I really can't find the time to do so recently." Old Lord is busy? Sky Sovereign should know, right? Old Lord Taishang smiled helplessly. It's the Queen Mother's birthday soon, so I've been refining pills for her these few days. Although I have plenty of pill furnaces, I can't make any mistakes when refining pills for her, right? I'm only making time to talk to you. If other people were to talk to me, then I wouldn't even care. The Queen Mother's birthday? Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows. Then your pill should be a gift for the Queen Mother? Naturally. Old Lord Taishang smiled wryly. This is the only pill refinement skill this old man has. If I were to give her anything else, I can't take it out. Gradually, a smile surfaced on Yi Zichen's face. At the same time, Old Lord Taishang also raised his eyebrows. Sky Sovereign should be back soon, right? What gift are you preparing to give the Queen Mother? If it's Sky Sovereign, then he will definitely be able to give her some amazing treasures. Yi Zichen couldn't help but shake his head with a smile when he saw the message. Chapter 381. Black Silk. Old Lord Taishang's expression shook when he saw the message. He knew how amazing Sky Sovereign Nameless was. Although he didn't know how strong Sky Sovereign Nameless was, and he had never met him in the Heavenly Court, the people in the Heavenly Court liked this master's endless treasures. Ignoring the food, just the fight the landlord that he sent over, aren't the people in the Heavenly Court playing it all the time? I wonder if the treasure that Sky Sovereign wants to give is for fun or food. Or something even more interesting? Old Lord Taishang replied in anticipation. Yi Zichen smiled. It's definitely something new. This is definitely something new. Furthermore, it is a treasure that the Queen Mother of the West loves. Sky Sovereign, hurry up and send it over. Even Old Lord Taishang was tormented by these gifts. Even though he had been concocting pills this entire time, he had been giving away medicinal pills for hundreds of thousands of years. Even though his medicinal pills were quite valuable, even if the Queen Mother of the West didn't despise them, he despised them. A few days ago, he racked his brains to think of a new treasure, but he didn't know anything apart from refining pills. That was why he turned on the furnace to get a pill to deal with this. Hey, I don't have this treasure right now. But I promise you that I definitely won't screw you over. I'll send it over to you tomorrow. Of course, the quality might be a bit poor, so you can find a female worker in the Heavenly Court to make one that's exactly the same. Yi Zichen smiled. Old Lord Taishang raised his eyebrows after a brief hesitation. Is that true? Do you think that I would lie to you? With a faint smile, Old Lord Taishang hesitated for a moment before replying. All right, I believe Sky Sovereign's words. I'll start refining the pill that Sky Sovereign needs right now. Tomorrow, you give me the treasure, and I'll give you the pill. Good. Yi Zichen chuckled softly, then replied. No problem, then let's talk tomorrow. Yi Zichen put his phone to the side. With Old Lord Taishang's promise, Yi Zichen's nervousness also relaxed a bit. Old Lord Taishang chucked his phone to the side, then called out to the boy in front of the furnace, Stop looking. Stop looking. Let's not refine this pill anymore. Not refining? Master, it will be ready in a few days. One of the boys frowned. Old Lord Taishang chuckled. Refining these things takes too much time. From now on you guys will refine these pills with me. Pa. A few pill formulas were thrown over. When the two boys saw these pill formulas, they were dumbfounded. Master, don't ask so many questions. Just do as I say. Just listen to me. Old Lord Taishang frowned, and the two boys immediately lowered their heads. Understood. Yi Zichen bought a pair of black stockings from a department store, then headed straight to the tea-house where tribulation was gathered. When he entered the tea-house, what surprised him was that the beautiful middle-aged woman who wasn't from tribulation was still working here. Boss Yi, I haven't seen you in a long time. The beautiful woman smiled faintly and raised her eyebrows. Lord Wei Chen is on the third floor. You can go upstairs to find him. Yi Zichen nodded towards her. Even though they hadn't met for so long, Yi Zichen was still able to feel that she wasn't simple when he saw her again. When Yi Zichen arrived at the third floor of the tea house, he saw that Wei Chen was playing cards with his subordinate. Boss Yi. Crash. Everyone on the third floor put down the cards and mahjong in their hands. Yi Zichen glanced at the group of members, and saw that there seemed to be a few new members among them. Come with me for a moment. Yi Zichen pushed open the door to a room on the third floor of the tea house. Not long later, Wei Chen also walked in behind him. Boss Yi, didn't you go to the capital? Why didn't you tell me that you came back? If I told you, I wouldn't be able to see our organization like this. Yi Zichen smiled. Wei Chen revealed a troubled expression. Those brats are all tired. I'm just taking them out to relax. I'm not blaming you guys, but the current situation is abnormal. Do you know about the demons? Yi Zichen sighed. Wei Chen opened his eyes wide and raised his eyebrows. Demons? It seems like you do know, Yi Zichen smiled. Yi Zichen smiled. The demons have already infiltrated Bingqing. I'm not sure whether they came for me or not, but since I'm standing guard here, I can't let the demons do as they please. Of course, my own abilities are limited, so I need to borrow your strength. For a long time, Wei Chen frowned in silence. Why did the demons appear in the modern realm? If they really did appear in the modern realm, then the small fries in their organization would not be able to stop them at all. Boss Yi, it's not that I'm pouring cold water on you. If the devil race really comes, even the lowest level devil race soldiers are not something that our group of people can resist. Of course I know, Yi Zichen nodded. Yi Zichen nodded noncommittally. From now on, I'll provide them with things that can rapidly increase their strength. Of course, not just anyone can use these treasures. They'll have to earn them with contribution points. Of course, you can directly give them to the more trustworthy ones. With that, Yi Zichen picked up the black stockings on the table. Wei Chen had noticed the stockings a long time ago, so he couldn't help but raise his eyebrows. Could it be that the stockings have some sort of special ability? What are you thinking? Yi Zichen rolled his eyes speechlessly at Wei Chen, then went to find old Lord Taishang, whom he had already contacted the previous day. Old Lord Taishang's phone, which was sitting near the rattan chair near the pill furnace, rang. He quickly picked up his phone. There was a pile of bottles and jars in front of him, all of which were the pills that he and his disciple had refined the previous night. I'm here. The pills were already refined, so he was just waiting for Sky's sovereign nameless miraculous treasure. Ding dong. The moment he sent the message, a red packet appeared on old Lord Taishang's side. You received Sky's sovereign nameless red packet. Old Lord Taishang was stunned for a long time as he looked at the packaging. Through the packaging, he could only see that it was a black silky item, but he didn't know what was inside. Old Lord Taishang carefully put the treasure to the side, then directly sent out all of the bottles and jars. You received old Lord Taishang's red packet. Body Strengthening Pill X300. Body Strengthening Pill X300. Spirit Accumulation Pill X300. Sky Sovereign Spirit Accumulation Pill is suitable for spiritual body and earth immortal level cultivators. Take one each morning, noon, and night. It can greatly increase a deity's affinity with celestial spiritual energy. Body strengthening and body tempering are used to strengthen the physical body and remove impurities, Old Lord Taishang explained carefully. Old Lord Taishang explained carefully, then picked up the black silk scarf Yi Zichen had sent over and asked curiously, "That's right. I just wonder what kind of treasure Sky Sovereign sent me. How should I answer the Queen Mother if she asks?" Yi Zichen, who was holding his phone, smiled for some reason. When he thought about how the Queen Mother would look in the black stockings. Chapter 382. Sister Artifact Spirit Black Silk Stockings? As I thought, Sky Sovereign Nameless always brings out these miraculous treasures. Just as old Lord Taishang was about to open the packaging to see what kind of treasure it was, he saw that Yi Zichen sent him another message. The quality of this black silk stockings is rather poor. You can use higher quality materials to weave something similar. Of course, it's fine if you can't find it, it's just that the threads will spin after a long time. All right, Old Lord Taishang replied with a smile. But when he opened the packaging, just what is this? It was a black stocking that was similar to a sock, but it was slippery, bouncy, and felt really good. Sky Sovereign, I want to ask, how do you use this treasure? Old Lord Taishang thought about it for a long time, but was unable to understand. There was nothing special about the black stockings, they were just normal items. This is for wearing. Wear it from the feet up. Oh yeah, study it yourself, I still have some things to do. Alright. After replying, Old Lord Taishang held the black stockings in a daze for a long while. Approximately 10 odd minutes later, he took off his shoes and put the black stockings on his feet. Only after a good half an hour did he manage to put the black stockings on. Then, he walked in front of the bronze mirror to look at his own image. Ugh! Yi Zichen quickly looked away. He nearly vomited from what he saw just now. Giving this to the Queen Mother to wear? Isn't this a joke? The Queen Mother might even want to kill me if I give it to her. Sky Sovereign tricked me. Sky Sovereign, can you stop messing around? Hurry up and send me the real treasure. Aren't you messing around with me? I've treated you wholeheartedly, you can't treat me like this. Sky Sovereign. Old Lord Taishang stomped his feet anxiously, but Yi Zichen didn't have time to deal with him. Do you understand now? These pills are all beneficial to them, so just let them eat them. Yi Zichen took out all of the pills. The amount was enough to fill up the entire floor of the room. Wei Chen nodded in confusion. Yi Zichen also spoke up. In the near future, try to find some strong people to join our organization. Tell me directly what she needs. As long as I can do it, I will try my best to satisfy her. If that's the case. Wei Chen suddenly licked his lips and said, Boss Yi can try to let Xiang Jie join our organization. Sister Xiang? It's the big sister downstairs. She isn't an ordinary person. According to my recent speculation, her strength is at or above the Earth immortal level. I've extended an olive branch to her several times, but she's ignored me. If Boss Yi really needs it, you can give it a try. As expected, Yi Zichen thought to himself. He had already felt that this woman was no ordinary person, but he didn't expect her to be an expert above the Earth immortal level. But why would such an expert work in this tea house? What was more concerning was that even though the tea house had changed owners, she had never left. Yi Zichen squinted his eyes and licked his lips. Elixir, you go down there and let those brats improve their strength as much as possible. I'll try to invite Sister Xiang. If I can invite her, I'll do it. If I can't, I'll have her leave our tea house as soon as possible. No problem. Wei Chen nodded. At this moment, Yi Zichen also arrived at the tea house. When he passed by the beautiful woman smiled. Boss Yi is leaving again. Xiang Jie? Yi Zichen suddenly stopped. The woman nodded with a smile. What is it? Why do you keep staying in this tea house? Yi Zichen looked at her with a faint smile. If you say that you need to make a living, then I don't think it's possible. You've been staying here to guard something, haven't you? Sister Xiang was quiet for a moment before she immediately laughed in a noncommittal manner. Boss Yi, you're really smart. You guessed it right. I'm guarding a certain treasure. Then, I wonder if you're an enemy or a friend? Yi Zichen asked once again. This time, Xiang Jie shook her head with a smile. I'm neither an enemy nor a friend. I'm here purely to guard the treasure and wait for someone fated to come and take it. At that time, after the treasure is taken, I will also follow that person. You're an artifact spirit. Yi Zichen was shocked. Xiang Jie blinked with a smile. You guessed it right again. I didn't expect the beautiful woman to actually be the artifact spirit of a certain divine artifact. No wonder Yi Zichen was unable to see through her true form when he used the fiery eyes of truth. From the looks of it, you want to try? You're too weak. You need to be at least an earth immortal to touch that divine artifact. Xiang Jie smiled. Yi Zichen scratched his head nervously after letting her speak her mind. Does anyone have a chance to take this divine artifact? No. You have to be pleasing to my eye. I rather like you, little fellow. Come and find me when you reach the earth immortal level. Big sister will give you a chance to try. Xiang Jie smiled and shrugged. The corner of Sister Xiang's mouth rose as she shrugged. I've been guarding this place for too long. I really hope that you can take me away. Then I'll definitely come and bother you when I reach the earth immortal level. Yi Zichen cupped his fist. Xiang Jie nodded. Come then. Oh yeah, you're looking for demons, right? Actually, the demons are right beside you. Do your best, little brother. Yi Zichen, who was about to leave, was shocked. He turned around in shock, and saw Xiang Jie tilting her head and waving towards him with a smile. Don't think about getting information from me, and don't think about getting me to help you fight against the demons. Telling you just now was just on a whim. Xiang Jie nodded and left. After she left, Xiang Jie did not say anything else, and merely greeted the customers of the tea house with a smile like usual. He's beside me. Yi Zichen, who sat in the car, had a look of worry on his face. Most of the people around him were normal people. How could there be demons among them? What that artifact spirit big sister said should be true. Think about it carefully. Yi Zichen parked the car by the side of the road, then closed his eyes tightly and looked through the people around him once again. However, the conclusion he got was still that there couldn't be any demons. Could there be some people that I didn't take into account? Yi Zichen's phone rang as he hesitated. He took out his phone, looked at the caller ID, then put it by his ear. What is it, Fatty? Boss Ho, hold on for a bit, I'm calling Boss Yi. Third Fatty Jin's screams sounded out from the phone. Yi Zichen squinted his eyes. What's going on? Hurry up and get out of the way. If you don't, I'll make a move. Motherf ** Ker. I'm the third disciple of great Emperor Qingming. You dare to attack me? Third Fatty Jin stretched his neck and yelled. All right, let's go. Boss Yi, can you hear me? I can hear you. I'm asking you what happened. Chapter 383. Di Zun within the apartment. Beside Di Tian, who was dressed in green, stood a man who looked similar to him. The man also had an extremely long braid on his head. The Ho brothers stood on either side of the room, while Third Fatty Jin stood in front of them with a frown. Great Emperor Qingming already told the Di family to not bother with Di Tian. I don't care about that. Make way or fall. The man beside Di Tian snorted coldly. He had been in closed-door cultivation for a period of time before. When he came out yesterday, he wanted to find his little brother, but found out that his little brother was being detained. As the big brother, how could he endure it? Thus, he directly bought a plane ticket and came to Bingqing despite his family's objections. Brat, you sure are cocky. Wait a moment if you dare. Third Fatty Jin snorted with his hands on his waist. Di Tian's older brother merely shrugged. You sure are cocky. What can you do to me even if I wait here for a year? After he finished his closed-door cultivation, he was already half a step into the earth immortal level. To be honest, he didn't care about the people in the room at all. Good brat. Cocky enough. Third Fatty Jin gulped silently, then turned to Di Tian. Di Tian, we've treated you well these past few days. Di Tian's expression suddenly turned cold. It would have been fine if he didn't mention it, but the moment he did, he was filled with anger. You actually have the face to say that? I've been cleaning the toilet and cleaning the house here every day. I'm almost as good as your nanny, and you're saying that you've treated me well? What? Di Tian's older brother raised his eyebrows. You actually dare to make my little brother do such dirty work? Dong. The man stomped on the ground, then swung his fist towards Third Fatty Jin. Did you ask me when you hit my people? Bang! A cold laugh sounded out, while Di Tion's older brother was thrown away. He subconsciously looked up, and saw that Yi Zichen had already appeared beside Third Fatty Jean. Boss Yi. Third Fatty Jin's face was filled with joy. Then, he pointed at Di Tian with his hands on his waist and cursed. Grandson, you're acting cocky this time. Look at how your stupid older brother got screwed by Boss Yi. Heh. Acting cocky. Brother. It's this kid. Di Tian pointed at Yi Zichen and cursed. He's the one who turned me into a transformer, and made me King clean the toilet. Yi Zichen maintained his cool smile the entire time. He looked indifferently at Di Tian, who was complaining, before turning his gaze to the man beside Di Tian. How should I address you? Di Zun. Di Tian's brother said in a low voice. He raised his eyebrows. It had to be said that the Di clan's naming was quite domineering. Yi Zichen could feel that Di Zun was very strong from him. At the same time, Di Zun felt that Yi Zichen was just as troublesome. Let my brother go, and we'll mind our own business. Di Zun was the first to break the oppressive silence. Reason. Yi Zichen pursed his lips with a smile. I won't pursue the matter of you making my brother a nanny. Di Zun replied forcefully. Yi Zichen merely shook his head with a smile. So what if you pursue it? Do you think I'm afraid of you? Don't be too naive, young man. Your brother must work here to wash away his sins. What sins? Di Zun asked. You need to ask him. Yi Zichen smiled playfully. Di Zun looked over. Di Tian's expression froze when he felt the questioning gaze. I definitely can't say it. The Di family's rules are very strict. They, the hidden family, are not allowed to fight with the people of the modern realm, nor are they allowed to harm the people of the modern realm. If I tell the truth, then I'll get my big brother to skin me alive. Big bro, how about I just stay here and work as a laborer? The people here are pretty nice to me. Di Tian smiled coyly. Di Zun's expression turned even more solemn, then he shook his head. No. You're truly interesting. Di Tian already said that he's not leaving, and you want to forcefully take him away? In front of me? With that, a faint spiritual pressure was released from Yi Zichen's body. That spiritual pressure, which was as deep as ink, caused everyone in the room to feel their hearts palpitate. Third Fatty Jean raised his eyebrows in shock. Out of everyone present, he was the one who understood Yi Zichen's change in strength the best. It has only been 2 short months, yet he already has this sort of strength. As I thought, the Yellow Emperor's reincarnation is truly extraordinary. Di Zun also felt the heaviness of the spiritual pressure. After some thought, he unclenched his fist and stepped forward. I don't want to fight you. I don't want to fight with you. Let's make a deal. Tell me about it. Yi Zichen pursed his lips with a smile. When I came, I noticed a few people spying on your room. I didn't pay too much attention at the time, but now that I think about it, those people should be your enemies. I'll tell you where they are, and you let me take Di Tian away, Di Zun said softly. Yi Zichen twitched his mouth, scratched his chin and raised his eyebrows. How strong are they? How strong are they? The strength I can detect is naturally below the earth immortal level. From what I can see, they should be around the spiritual body level, Di Zun replied with a faint smile. Di Zun replied with a faint smile. If you don't believe me, I can go and catch them. Thank you. Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows and smiled towards Di Zun. Di Zun did not expect Yi Zichen to actually reply like that. However, Di Zun did not say anything else. He merely nodded and left the room. Ahem, after Di Zun left, Di Tian's face was obviously filled with anxiety. The reason why he could be so arrogant just now was because his big brother was still by his side supporting him. But now that his brother had left, he was really a little afraid that he would be beaten up during this period. Brothers, let's talk this out. My brother will be back soon. You still dare to mention your brother? Third Fatty Jean raised his hand as if he was about to hit Di Tian. Di Tian immediately went into a defensive stance and said, I'm telling you, fatty, if you really dare to hit me, my brother won't forgive you. I, Lord Fatty, must try it today. Yizichin couldn't help but frown when he saw that. Third Fatty Jean rolled up his sleeves and was about to walk over. All right, Dong. Just then, the door to the room was pushed open again. Dizun walked in with 2 people in his hands. Bang! The 2 men were thrown to the ground. In their hands were binoculars, Bluetooth earphones, and other devices. It seemed like an organized and premeditated crime. I've brought him here. Dizun clapped his hands with a smile. Yizichin nodded, then squatted on the ground with a smile. Why are you spying on me? What are you talking about? We were secretly taking pictures of the stars in this building. Why did you bring us here? Be careful, we'll call the police. Yizichin raised his eyebrows and nodded. Which celebrity is it? Tell me if you can't. Whoosh. 3 silver needles appeared in his hands. Chapter 384. Chapter 384. Going to the underworld. The silver needles in Dizun's hands shone with a terrifying cold light, while the 2 watchers, who were restrained on the ground, suddenly smiled strangely. Be careful. Dizun suddenly raised his hand and pulled Yizichin behind him, then quickly formed a seal with his fingers, causing a barrier of light to instantly cover the 2 people. Boom! A deafening explosion sounded out from within the barrier, while several cracks also appeared on the barrier. They self-destructed. Yizichin looked at the 2 people, who had already turned into smoke, in shock, then looked towards Dizun with gratitude. If he had not pulled him over in time, based on the explosion just now, even if he had the invincible Vajra body, he would have been half dead if not dead. Thank you. It's nothing. Dizun maintained his calm expression. He glanced at the interior of the barrier, then dispelled it. Thick smoke rose up from the barrier, while Dizun spoke up. I found them for you, but they self-destructed. I found them for you, but they self-destructed. This has nothing to do with me. Take Tian away. Yizichin nodded. Dizun did not hesitate for long, then left the room after giving Tian a look. Boss. Third Fatty Jean was about to cry. Due to his pretentious personality, he was the closest to the 2 people who self-destructed. If it wasn't for Dizun taking out the barrier, he might have turned to dust as well. Clean up this place. If any of the neighbors ask what happened, just say that the electrical appliances in the house exploded. Yizichin looked at the scorched ground. Yizichin looked at the scorched floor. Dizun should have covered the floor of the room when he set up the barrier. Otherwise, with the momentum of the explosion just now, it was very likely that a pit would be blasted out of the ground. Master, Number 3 and Number 4 were discovered to have self-destructed. Within a high-class mansion in Bingqing, Songan walked in front of a man in the living room with a smile. The man on the sofa nodded to indicate that he understood, then raised his eyebrows with a smile. Yizichin is rather vigilant. Yizichin's vigilance is rather high, but Plan 1 has already succeeded. Even if no one is watching him, we can still know his movements. With that, he tilted his head and looked at Guojing, who was beside him. How are things on your side? There's nothing wrong. Guojing narrowed her eyes and smiled. She handed the phone to the man and said, I've already charmed this guy. Even if I want his life now, he might give it to me with a smile. Really? The man scrolled through the chat history a few times, then passed the phone to Guojing. That's right. Slowly infiltrate Yizichin's side. When you reach a certain point, I will tell you what to do next. With a chuckle, he brushed his hand across Guojing's cheek. He stretched lazily and looked out of the window. Yizichin, I really look forward to the moment we meet. Yizichin's emotions gradually became unstable as he laid on the bed. He had tried his best to make himself strong, to make himself accept all of this, but the danger that followed really made his nerves weak. For example, just now, he almost lost his life. He just wanted to be a normal citizen and live a peaceful life. I'm really going crazy. Yizichin hammered the bed. Lu Jing, who had been resting her soul in the dragon eye, came out. When she saw Yi Zichen's expression, she sighed softly. Actually, she understood Yi Zichen very well. No matter how strong his endurance was, when a person who had been a normal person for 20-something years suddenly had to experience so many strange things, there would come a moment where he would break down. What's more, he had been walking the line between life and death. Calm down, don't treat the problem too seriously. How about, you can contact that Flame Emperor and company, and get them to send some bodyguards over for you? Lu Jing said softly. Yi Zichen flipped over, but his eyes were already filled with tears. What are you looking for? If they wanted to send me bodyguards, they would have sent them to me from the start. But did they? How many times have I been in danger? Have they ever sent people to protect me? At that moment, Yi Zichen was as weak as a child. He curled up on the bed and clenched his fists tightly. I have to rely on myself for everything. I need to build up my own forces, and I also need to build up my social connections bit by bit. I'm truly pitiful as the reincarnation of the Yellow Emperor. But it's fine, at least I'm still alive. Yi Zichen smiled wryly, then used the blanket to wipe away his tears and apologized. Sorry, I couldn't control myself just now. I can understand you, really. Lu Jing flew over and hugged Yi Zichen's head. I really can understand you. No one is born strong. How long has it been since you experienced all this? You still need to get used to it. Everyone is afraid of death. Yi Zichen patted Lu Jing's head with a smile, then let out a long sigh. I'm much better now. Humans still need to vent out a little. Otherwise, they might get sick from holding it in. To be honest, the self-destruction of those two nearly scared me to the point of peeing my pants. These guys really don't care about their lives in order to kill me. But I'm truly pitiful. A self-mocking smile appeared on Yi Zichen's face. Lu Jing was like a trash can for his emotions, as she sat beside him and listened to his retorts with a smile. After a good half an hour, Yi Zichen finally said everything he wanted to say. Lu Jing squinted her eyes with a smile. Don't worry. Lu Jing squinted her eyes and smiled. If you didn't go through all this, I'm sure that you would definitely be an internet troll. You even noticed that? Yi Zichen's mood also improved a lot after saying what he wanted to say. I thought I hid it very well. Lu Jing raised her finger and poked Yi Zichen's forehead. At that moment, the phone on the bedside table rang. Lu Jing floated over and raised her eyebrows when she saw the message. King Chujiang sent you a message. King Chujiang. Yi Zichen quickly picked up the phone and looked at the content. Master, are you there? This brat actually sought me out. The sun definitely rose from the west. Logically speaking, he would hide from me more than enough. I'm here. What business do you have with me? Yi Zichen replied in confusion. King Chujiang, who was sitting with the other Yama kings, saw the gazes of his brothers, then replied, It's like this. Didn't you say that you're going to revive that person who died before his lifespan ended? Yi Zichen nodded. But didn't your big bro say that the underworld is too busy and can't go right now? Chapter 385. Meng Xiang. To hell? Looking at King Chujiang's message, that seemed to be the case. Yi Zichen licked his dry lips and looked at the message hesitantly. Are you sure I can go now? Master, if you're coming, please come as soon as possible. I don't know when Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva will go into seclusion again. When that time comes, you might have to wait for a long time. King Chujiang raised his eyebrows. Yi Zichen glanced at Lu Jing, then thought for a moment. Then open the door for me. His heart thumped wildly. He was going to the underworld soon. No one would believe that a mere mortal like him could actually go to hell. Of course, he didn't dare to say it out loud either. Please wait a moment. Approximately 3 minutes later, a vertical eye that looked like a spatial crack appeared in Yi Zichen's bedroom. At the same time, a message from King Chujiang rang out on his phone. Master, you can come in directly. No one came to pick me up? Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows. I have to be careful. What if this King Chu Jiang is trying to screw me over? Master, we, the King Yenluo of Hell, have no way of entering and exiting the mortal realm as we please. The ghost messengers are also out catching ghosts, so we really can't send people to pick you up. King Chu Jiang revealed a helpless expression. Yi Zichen twitched his mouth towards him. All right, I'll go by myself. Yi Zichen patted Lu Jing's head, then put his phone back into his pocket. Let's go to the underworld to revive you. Whoosh! The scene suddenly changed. When Yi Zichen emerged from the spatial rift, he appeared on an ancient bridge. Right in front of the bridge was a stone tablet, and its name was Helplessness. Another newcomer. If I'm so busy, I'm really going to quit. When she saw that Yi Zichen and Lu Jing didn't move, she raised her eyebrows. What's wrong with you? What are you waiting for? Come here. Ao. Yi Zichen gulped, then walked over. When he got closer, he asked with a look of confusion. You are Mengpu, right? You know me? The girl's appearance had nothing to do with the word grandma. She seemed to be about the same age as Lu Jing. Forget it, the dead should know me. I'm Mengpu. Both of you drink the 2 bowls of soup here and go inside. But why didn't the 2 of you come in with any ghost envoys? Mengpu asked in confusion. Yi Zichen immediately raised his eyebrows with a smile. We're not here to reincarnate. I'm actually a living person, and this little girl is a ghost. I brought her here to revive her. Mengpu blinked, tilted her head, and suddenly burst out laughing. You really know how to joke, kid. How could a mortal come to the underworld? Do you know what kind of ghost this is? It's a virgin ghost. If she's resurrected, she'll be an immortal. Immortal! Well, since there aren't many people around, I'll chat with you for a while. Mengpa pulled out a small chair from the side and sat down, then crossed her legs. There's no need to say much about the treasures needed for a ghost to be resurrected. It's even possible to forcefully create an immortal. The little girl beside you is a virgin, so she has the best absorption rate for those treasures. The lowest is a human immortal, and the highest is a sky immortal. However, brat, I'm not trying to discourage you, but the item of resurrection is a precious treasure even for the people of the heavenly court. Say, you're immortal, and you want to resurrect her? Are you joking with Big Sister? Yi Zichen looked at her in confusion. Mengpa thought that she was right, so she raised her eyebrows with a smile. You made me speechless, right? Here, Mengpo's soup, 1 bowl for each of us. Hurry up and drink it. I really came to resurrect her. King Chu Jiang told me to come. Yi Zichen revealed a look of helplessness. Mengpa raised her eyebrows with a smile. So you know about King Chu Jiang. You did a lot of homework in the modern realm. Everything I said is true. Yi Zichen sighed helplessly. If you don't believe me, then go and ask King Chu Jiang. Don't you guys have employee groups? Meng Po's expression drastically changed. The employee group was an internal thing of the underworld. Even ghosts that have been dead for a long time would not know about it unless they were ghost servants. This person actually knows about the employee group. This caused Mengpe to lose her confidence. She glanced at Yi Zichen, then took out her phone and King Chu Jiang in the group. Mengpe, King Chu Jiang, I have a mortal who claims to want to resurrect a virgin ghost. Oxhead, you're joking, right? Horseface, Big Brother Oxhead is right. Judge Chui, everyone in the group continuously retorted. Even Mengpe felt like she was a bit dumb. How could a mortal possibly resurrect a ghost? King Chu Jiang, hurry up and send that master over. Don't delay him at all. We'll wait for you at the reincarnation pool of the 6 halls. Wow. Everyone in the group was shocked. Oxhead, a master really came? Horseface, Big Brother Oxhead is right. Judge Chui, Huatoa. About this, Mengpe looked up in confusion at Yi Zichen, who stood in front of her with a blank look. Zoom. Mengpe quickly stood up from the chair, then put her phone back into her pocket with a giggle. Master, I have offended you just now. Please forgive me. Now you believe me, right? Yi Zichen sighed helplessly. Meng Po immediately nodded with a wry smile. I believe you, I believe you. I'll take you to the reincarnation pool of the 6 halls right now. Then where are you? Yi Zichen pointed at her roadside stall. Meng Po chuckled, then shouted towards the stall, Hey, come out and help me watch for a while. Hey, come out and help me watch for a while. I'll help you watch for half an hour. Okay. Not long later, a middle-aged woman walked out from the stall. From the looks of it, she was dressed the exact same as Meng Po. Meng Po isn't the only one in the underworld. Only those above the level of Ghost Marshal are the only ones here. The others are all employees, little Meng Po giggled. Yi Zichen shook his head with a smile. What are you called? I'm Meng Xiang. This name was given to me by Uncle Chu Jiang. Meng Xiang scratched her head with a smile. You must be wondering why I became Meng Po at such a young age, right? Actually, I'm only 17. So young. I was 17 when I died, so I've always been 17. But that's what Uncle's Yama told me. Meng Xiang giggled. Yi Zichen was momentarily stunned, then his expression changed. Sorry. It's nothing. Meng Xiang maintained her calm smile. I'm already used to it. I'm already dead, so what's the point of thinking so much? As they chatted, the 3 of them arrived in front of a glorious palace. We're here, Meng Xiang giggled. Meng Xiang giggled. Yi Zichen subconsciously let out a long sigh, then gripped Lu Jing's hand tightly. Chapter 386. Reincarnation Pool. The layout of the Yama Hall was like that of an ancient court. The eyes of the 2 stone lions in front of the hall shone brightly. When Yi Zichen walked over, the 2 stone lions spoke out. Mortal, this is not a place you can come to. Hurry up and leave. The sudden words shocked Yi Zichen. He glanced to the side, then saw Meng Xiang jump in front of the stone lion with a giggle and patted its head. This is Uncle Chu Jiang's esteemed guest. Don't scare him. You little girl, you're getting more and more impudent, one of the stone lions sighed. Zoom. A man in a long robe walked out from within the stone lion. He shook his head with a smile, then looked at Yi Zichen. You're welcome. Please. Dong. The black metal door was slowly pushed open, and a huge steaming pool entered Yi Zichen's view, while 10 men in official uniforms and hats stood around the pool. Yama Kings, this person claims to be your esteemed guest. The man in the form of a stone lion took a step back, and gave way to Yi Zichen. Several gazes looked over, then couldn't help but raise their eyebrows when they saw Yi Zichen. He's actually so weak. Before they met, they had thought that this master would be very strong. Since he was able to call the great sage brother, the reincarnation of the Yellow Emperor, and was on good terms with the people of the heavenly court, then even if he isn't a complete stage sky immortal, he should be at least above that level. But from the looks of it, he isn't even an earth immortal? Everyone revealed a confused gaze. At that moment, a man in a red crown and black robe walked over with a bow. The people around him also looked towards Yi Zichen. Why, you are that master, right? They were very curious about the master in front of them, so they couldn't help but take a few more glances at him. King Chu Jiang? Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows. The man immediately nodded. Yes, I am King Chu Jiang. These are my brothers. They are all Yama Kings of the 10 halls. The other Yama Kings all nodded. At that moment, Meng Xiang also spoke up with a smile. I've brought him over. Remember to send me a red packet later. I can't run errands for you for nothing. Good. King Chu Jiang nodded with a bitter smile. Meng Xiang giggled and skipped out of the King of Hell's palace. His gaze landed on the interior of the huge pool. The water in the pool was as red as blood, and waves of heat were surging towards him. King Chu Jiang also noticed Yi Zichen's gaze, so he nodded with a smile. Master, this is the reincarnation pool. Do you want to resurrect this little girl? Yes. Yi Zichen could already sense the strange gazes of the surrounding Yama Kings. It was clear that they had noticed how weak he was. He had to pretend to be indifferent and cold, not saying much. Perhaps this way, he could make them fear him. King Chujiang was also stunned by Yi Zichen's indifferent reaction. However, he didn't mind it since he had interacted with Yi Zichen many times before. He might find it strange if he was too familiar with a master, but now it was normal. Although this expert's strength seemed to be too weak, it couldn't be compared to his status. No matter what, the few of them wouldn't dare to lay a finger on him. Master, we won't waste any more of your precious time. The reincarnation pool is right here. Give me the item of resurrection and let that female ghost. A virgin female ghost? King Chujiang raised his eyebrows. No wonder this master wants to resurrect her so much. Although plenty of treasures are needed to resurrect this sort of female ghost, what I get in the end might be far more valuable than the materials. Is there a problem? Yi Zichen's expression darkened. King Chujiang instantly shook his head with a smile. No problem at all. There's no problem at all. Give me the item of resurrection and let the female ghost enter the pool. Don't try anything funny, Yi Zichen warned with squinted eyes. King Chujiang smiled coyly. What are you saying? How could I dare to do anything funny in front of you? That's for the best. Yi Zichen glanced at him indifferently, then took out his phone. The 4G network that he had in the modern realm had already disappeared, and was replaced by a small wave. Yi Zichen clicked open the social media app on his phone. What surprised him was that he was still able to connect to the internet. Yi Zichen frowned, but didn't care too much about it. He opened the treasure chest and took out all of the items of resurrection. Gulp. Even with the mental fortitude of the Yama kings, they couldn't help but swallow their saliva when they saw these treasures. These were all treasures that were hard to come by even with money. If they had them, they might even be able to improve their strength. However, they didn't dare to be greedy. Ignoring the fact that King Qingguang wouldn't let them, they couldn't afford to offend the monkey behind Yi Zichen. Hurry up and start. Yi Zichen frowned. King Chujiang instantly nodded with a smile. All right, with a pull of his right hand, all the treasures immediately flew into his hand. The spirit water of Yuan poured into the reincarnation pool. The 1,000-year dragon eye and 9-heart lotus root also fell into the pool. Gulp. The blood-red reincarnation pool began to bubble, and the temperature in the pool seemed to rise significantly. Lu Jing, if you feel uncomfortable, just tell me. No, it's so comfortable here. Lu Jing giggled as she swam around in the pool. King Chujiang also spoke with a bitter smile. Expert, you seem to still be wary of us. To tell you the truth, it isn't that easy to reincarnate. I only told you some of the treasures that the underworld doesn't have. As for the other natural treasures that the underworld has, I didn't tell you. To put it more bluntly, the value of this pool of reincarnation water is comparable to a sky immortal. Yi Zichen was also shocked. He subconsciously activated his fiery eyes of truth and glanced at the pool, and noticed that there were indeed plenty of natural treasures in the pool. Oh, I'm so tired, I'm going to sleep for a while. Lu Jing, who was playing happily in the pool, suddenly felt her eyelids droop. She found a place to lean against, then closed her eyes and fell into a deep sleep. What's going on? Yi Zichen frowned. King Chujiang quickly explained, the energy in the pool is too great. This lady needs a while to absorb it. This is a normal phenomenon. Then how long will it take for her to wake up? That will depend on how she absorbs it. But when she wakes up, it means that the body remodeling has succeeded. Then, she will eat the heaven reversal pill and be reborn. King Chujiang smiled. Yi Zichen also nodded silently. He felt like he couldn't completely trust these people, so he secretly took out his phone and sent a few messages to Yang Jian and the monkey. If these people dared to have any bad intentions, then I'll get these two brothers to come and destroy the underworld. However, at that very moment, the metal gates of the Yama Palace were suddenly pushed open, and a monk, who sat cross-legged on a cushion, floated in. At the same time, King Chujiang, who was smiling apologetically beside Yi Zichen, quickly bowed. Chapter 387. The first mission given by Yi Zichen. The Yama kings in the hall all bowed towards Xitigarbha. It was clear that Xitigarbha had a rather high status in the underworld. Yi Zichen also subconsciously glanced at Xitigarbha, and noticed that Xitigarbha was also looking at him. King Chujiang moved aside with a smile, while Xitigarbha directly flew above the throne in the hall. The space twisted, an auspicious beast with a tiger's head, a single horn, a dog's ears, a dragon's body, a lion's tail and Qilin's feet suddenly appeared beside him. This should be Xitigarbha's mount, Diding. Rumors had it that Diding was the only one of the 4 bodhisattvas' mounts that did not turn into a monster and harm Xuanzang and his disciples. However, there were also rumors that when Sun Wukong was the real Monkey King, Diding could tell which one was the real one, but did not dare to offend the fake one, so it did not say anything. However, that wasn't important. The important thing was, for some reason, Yi Zichen felt that Diding was a bit similar to his Lil White. Xitigarbha, why did you come here? King Qingguang, who was wearing a red robe, smiled. Xitigarbha, who sat on the throne, also rubbed Diding's head with a smile. I heard that an important person of the underworld has come, so I came to take a look. You came for me? Yi Zichen couldn't help but feel confused. However, Xitigarbha merely smiled, then glanced at him. This is the important person that came to the underworld, right? Yi Zichen couldn't help but feel confused. Yes, the Yama kings nodded. You are the first mortal to enter the underworld in the past thousands of years, Xitigarbha smiled. Then he glanced at Lu Jing, who was sleeping soundly in the reincarnation pool. You're quite skilled at reviving someone who has yet to reach the end of their lifespan. Why are you speaking in such a weird tone? Yi Zichen felt like Xitigarbha's words were a bit weird. It was as if he was mocking him. Logically speaking, bodhisattvas shouldn't speak like that. Didn't Shakyamuni say that everyone is equal? If he continues to speak like that, then I have to report him when I meet Tathagata in the future? You guys can leave. I have some things I want to say to this young man alone. Xitigarbha waved his hand. The Xitigarbha bodhisattva waved his hand, and the Yama kings exchanged glances before quietly leaving the hall. Only Xitigarbha and Yi Zichen remained in the hall. Xitigarbha smiled. Young man, what do you think of the underworld? Held is pretty impressive. Being in charge of the reincarnation of the human world, that's pretty awesome, right? Yi Zichen didn't even know why he was asking this question. All he knew was that he definitely couldn't say anything bad about him. Then what do you think of me? The Xitigarbha bodhisattva smiled faintly. His eyes were filled with gentleness as he asked, Do you think I have a chance to return to the Buddhist domain? No. Yi Zichen shook his head indifferently. When he said this, he froze. This wasn't what he wanted to say. He originally wanted to flatter her, but he didn't know why his mouth couldn't help but say it. Is that so? Xitigarbha's expression darkened. When he first came to the underworld, Shakyamuni had told him that if he wanted to know when he could return to the Buddhist domain, he could ask a mortal from the mortal world who had come to the underworld. If he says he can go back, then you can. If you can't go back, then you can't go back. Xitigarbha had always remembered those words. However, as time passed by, he gradually got used to living in the underworld, so returning to the Buddhist domain wasn't that important anymore. However, he still felt a bit sad when he heard Yi Zichen's reply. Can you tell me the reason? The reason you came here is to help the souls of the dead in the underworld. Back then, you said it yourself that you won't return to the Buddhist domain if the souls of the dead in the underworld aren't purified. However, everyone will die one day. The cycle of reincarnation is fated. You won't be purified, Yi Zichen said indifferently once again. However, when he said that, he was completely confused once again. What's wrong with me today? What did I do? Why isn't my mouth listening to me? Yi Zichen wanted to explain when he saw Xitigarbha's expression darken, but he didn't know how. Just now, he had made a solemn vow. Could it be that he could go back on his words? Never mind, the underworld isn't bad either. After a long while, Xidigarba shook his head with a wry smile, then flew over to Yizichen's side. He patted Yizichen's shoulder with his pale hand, then left the Yama Palace in the underworld without saying anything. Oh my god, this Xidigarba is definitely pissed to death. Yizichen smiled as he carefully watched Xidigarba leave. At that moment, the phone in his pocket suddenly rang. Ding dong. System mission issued. Steal one of Diding's Chilant's legs, which is by Xidigarba's side. Mission duration, 7 days. Mission reward. Activation of purchase function for Treasure Shop Phase 2 product. Chance of obtaining rare items from the Wheel of Fortune increased. Punishment for failure. Obliteration. Yizichen was instantly shocked. Yizichen rubbed his eyes and looked at the contents on the screen in confusion. His phone actually gave him a mission, and the mission was so weird. It was actually one of Diding's legs. What made him even more speechless was that he would be obliterated if he failed. Doesn't that mean that I have to steal the leg? If I fail, I'll die? Lousy's done. Yizichen smashed his phone onto the floor. He really didn't want to play around with these guys anymore. It's fine if someone tried to assassinate me, but now even this crappy phone is starting to plot against me. Diding is a primordial divine beast, Xidigarba's mount. I'm merely a false earth immortal trash. Isn't stealing Diding's leg the F*** same as seeking death? I'm going to die either way. How about you just kill me right now? Lousy's done. Yizichen howled madly in the hall, but no one responded to him in the empty hall. The phone that he smashed onto the floor was not damaged at all. What made him even more speechless was that the phone even flew up by itself and flew into his pocket. Just keep messing with me. Yizichen felt a bit tired after screaming for a while. He sat limply on the floor, then took out his phone and looked at the message, system notification. Because you intentionally destroyed this device, Cultivation Experience X500000 has been deducted. If you do it again, then all of your earnings will be erased. There's definitely someone controlling this phone. Yizichen licked his lips and squinted his eyes as he looked at the notification on his phone. Who exactly are you? Can you come out and meet me? If you keep messing with me like this, I really can't take it anymore. No one responded. Brother, stop pretending. I've long suspected that someone is secretly manipulating this phone. Come out and let's have a chat. For example, the mission you've given me to steal a leg from the Harkin. Aren't you just pushing me into a pit of fire? Even if I'm playing a game, the system should at least give me a quest hint or a game guide. Yizichen sighed helplessly, ding-dong. System notification. Obtained the strategy guide for Diding's leg. Chapter 388. Leg stealing strategy. Yizichen laughed when he saw the system notification. Since he said he wanted the strategy, he gave him the strategy. How dare he say that there was no one behind this phone? Maybe this guy was nearby. Otherwise, how could he have heard what he said just now? Do you dare to come out? Let's have a good talk. Still, no one spoke. He shouted a few more times, but Yizichen couldn't be bothered with him, so he stopped. Since he knew that there was someone controlling the phone, he would definitely have the opportunity to meet them in the future. He would properly improve his strength. When he was strong enough in the future, he would definitely teach this brat a lesson when he met him. He tapped on the system notification. D-Ting is a good drinker. When it's drunk, the Chilant's leg will naturally fall off. You should take advantage of this time to keep the leg in your treasure chest. Even if someone from the underworld investigates this matter, they won't be able to find out that you're carrying it. I need to steal 4 legs. I'll tell you when the time comes. There was no need to worry about truth, listener. As an auspicious beast, its 4 legs would grow back after a while. Hurry up, your time is limited. Look at how human-like the system notification is. It's almost as if the two of us are chatting. The wry smile on Yi Zichen's face grew wider and wider. This guy behind me is seriously, what was he trying to do? Master, has the Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva left? King Chujiang and King Qingguang walked in from outside. The situation in the underworld recently was rather troublesome. The Yama kings of the other halls needed to take advantage of the time when Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva came out of seclusion to busy themselves with their own government affairs. Let's go, Yi Zichen asked plainly, while thinking about how he could drink with Diding. The system's quest guide was very clear, but he had to create the opportunity to drink by himself. Master, King Chujiang carefully pushed Yi Zichen's shoulder. When he looked up, he saw King Qingguang and King Chujiang looking at him in confusion. What happened? Master, it might take some time for your friend to be revived. Do you want us to arrange a place for you to stay? King Chujiang replied with a smile. Yi Zichen squinted his eyes. How about this, send me back to the modern world. I'll look for you guys on social media later, and you guys can open the door for me again. By the way, don't get any ideas about Lu Jing when I'm not here. No problem. Whoosh. When Yi Zichen returned to the modern realm from the underworld, he went straight to a famous inn nearby. If he wanted to buy alcohol, he would buy alcohol with a high alcohol content. Red, Western, yellow, and even beer, he wouldn't miss a single one. He was determined to get Truth Listener drunk and steal its leg. He had to get all the items needed for this mission. Open up. Open up. After buying the drinks, Yi Zichen sent another message to King Chujiang. Not long after, a spatial crack appeared in front of him. Looking left and right to make sure there was no one around, he quickly entered it. Master, what are you doing in the modern world? As soon as he returned, King Chujiang spoke fervently. Yi Zichen glanced at them, then took out a bottle of red wine from the treasure chest and placed it in front of them. Don't say that I don't take care of you. This is the best wine in the modern world. I'll give it to you. This, King Chujiang and King Qingguang licked their lips. They were both people who loved wine and had been drooling over the good wine of the current world for a long time, but they had no way to taste it. The fact that an expert was giving them wine made them feel extremely flattered. This is too precious. It's fine as long as you know that it's precious. I didn't give this wine to you for free. Can you arrange a place for me to stay at King Ksitigarbha's place? If Diding lives alone, then you too can send it to Diding's place as well. Why? King Qingguang asked in confusion. Yi Zichen immediately said the excuse he had prepared beforehand. I also raised a white dog like King Ksitigarbha in the modern realm. It is rather intelligent as well. I was thinking about turning it into something like a divine beast or a auspicious beast, so we can exchange our thoughts on raising a dog. King Chujiang and King Qingguang revealed troubled expressions. After a long while, they finally spoke up. Master, it's not that we don't want to help you. The main thing is that King Ksitigarbha's place is not something we can arrange as we please. If you really want to exchange our thoughts, then you can walk around the underworld more. King Ksitigarbha and Diding often wander around the ghost region, especially Diding. He loves to run around. That's fine. Then arrange a place for me in the ghost region. It has to be near here. I'll come over to see her more often. Yi Zichen thought about it for a moment. It would be better if he bumped into Diding in the ghost region by chance. If he got too close, it might increase the suspicion of him being a criminal. I'll drag Diding over for a few drinks when I bump into him in the ghost region. Stealing a leg, perfect. King Qingguang instantly nodded with a smile after getting Yi Zichen's approval, of course. King Chujiang, go and arrange a place for Master to stay. The place that King Chujiang found for Yi Zichen was pretty much the same as a military compound in the modern realm. The people living there were all officials in the underworld. However, what was worth retorting about was that the living environment was truly terrible. The decorations of the room were simple, and there were no entertainment facilities at all. There was only a single bed. Yi Zichen laid down on the bed with a sigh, then took out his phone and saw that the monkey and Yang Jian had both replied to him quite a few times. Most of them were asking about the situation and whether they needed to do anything. Yi Zichen was rather satisfied with the two brothers. They were the only ones that he had met with among all the deities in the heavenly court. After that, they became even closer. Yi Zichen simply replied that they were fine, then set his gaze onto his chat with old Lord Taishang. 99 plus. Yi Zichen subconsciously scrolled through old Lord Taishang's messages. All of them were asking him if he was joking with him, and the rest were for him to reply quickly. When did I joke with him? I'm so busy. Why are you in such a hurry to find me? This sovereign is going to get cramps from being so busy. Yi Zichen frowned. Old Lord Taishang, whose face was completely black, grabbed his phone with bloodshot eyes. He definitely did not dare to send the stockings to the Queen Mother. Since Yi Zichen did not reply for a long time, he could only start another batch. Due to the lack of time, he was on the verge of breaking down. Old Lord Taishang suddenly smiled coldly when he saw Yi Zichen's message. Sky Sovereign, you intentionally messed with me, right? How did I mess with you? Didn't I send you all the treasures? Yi Zichen scratched his head and replied. Old Lord Taishang directly sent a picture over without saying anything else. It was a picture of a leg wrapped in black stockings, and the leg hair of the person in the picture could be seen. This is a man, right? Yi Zichen blinked and raised his eyebrows. Who's the person in the picture? The Queen Mother? Bullshit Queen Mother. Old Lord Taishang's beard flew up in anger, while his aged face was filled with anger. Chapter 389. Promote Justice Pu. Yi Zichen nearly laughed out loud when he saw that. Old Lord Taishang actually wore stockings. Yi Zichen couldn't help but click on the photo to examine it for a moment, then put it away. This was old Lord Taishang's dark history. He might even be able to use this photo to scam him in the future. Why are you wearing stockings for no reason? Old Lord Taishang's expression instantly turned cold. Don't worry, old Lord Taishang. If I don't try, I won't even know how I died. Tell me, what kind of lousy thing is this? Is this something for people to wear? You actually want me to give it to the Queen Mother of the West? You really want to kill me? From the looks of it, this old Lord Taishang had misunderstood. Stockings completely reflected the beauty of women. As a man, he naturally felt even more comical when he wore them. Don't think too much about it. It's not a problem to give these silk stockings to the Queen Mother of the West. If you don't believe me, you can ask a fairy to try them on. However, old Lord Taishang frowned with a cold smile. Old Lord Taishang, don't worry, old Lord Taishang. You want me to find a fairy? I'm already so old, why would I want to look for a fairy? I think not only do you want to kill me, but you also want me to lose my integrity in my old age. What the hell was going on? Just what is this geezer's brain filled with? Yi Zichen couldn't help but feel speechless when he saw his message. If you don't believe me, then there's nothing I can do. Okay, now you want to admit it, right? Fine, I'll remember this grudge. Old Lord Taishang threw his phone to the side. His furious expression gave his disciples a fright. What are you looking at? Hurry up and refine the pills. Really, Yi Zichen wanted to explain, but when he sent the message, he noticed that the geezer deleted it. To be honest, he really couldn't understand why this old man was so hot-tempered. If he really couldn't do it, he could just give him another treasure. The modern world didn't have much else, but it had plenty of good treasures. Yi Zichen rolled his eyes helplessly, then let out a long sigh and sent another friend request. If this old man didn't add him, then there was nothing he could do. In the blink of an eye, 3 days had passed in hell. As expected, old Lord Taishang didn't add him as a friend, and even cursed him when he rejected him several times. Yi Zichen wasn't a shameless person. Since the geezer didn't want to join, then he wouldn't be in a hurry to join. Is King Chu Jiang kidding me? I've been watching the ghost domain every day. Why haven't I seen Truth Listener come out? What are you doing? Let go of me. A young voice sounded out beside Yi Zichen's ear. The tone instantly caused Yi Zichen to turn around. Looking at his tattered clothes and his small face, he should be a little beggar. What's going on? Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows, then saw a pig-like man standing beside him, continuously patting the child's head with his meaty hands. Little beggar, open your eyes wide when you walk. Can't you see that Grandpa is walking on this road? You've dirted Grandpa's new clothes. How are you going to compensate me? Can you afford to compensate me? Yi Zichen could tell that it was a daily activity of rich people bullying small shrimps in the underworld. Yi Zichen hated this sort of thing the most. I thought that this kind of situation would only happen in the modern realm, but the underworld was no exception. Yi Zichen squinted his eyes, then directly walked towards the pig-faced man. Hey, bro. Who is it? The pig-faced man frowned, then looked at Yi Zichen, who was behind him. Brat Scram. Did you not die for long? If you want to be a hero in the underworld, wait until you get to the ghost domain. The pig-faced man pushed Yi Zichen. Only then did Yi Zichen notice that there were plenty of ghosts passing by, but they pretended like they didn't see anything. I'm not allowed to promote justice in the underworld? Yi Zichen frowned, then snorted. I'm going to meddle in other people's business. What can you do about it? There really is someone who doesn't know what's good for him. The pig-faced man squinted his eyes. 10 odd strong ghosts instantly appeared around him. In the underworld, it's not illegal for a public official to beat someone up, right? This time, I'll treat it as a lesson for you. The pig-faced man sneered, and the muscular men beside him also walked over. However, when they wanted to attack Yi Zichen, they noticed that they couldn't come. Hit me? Yi Zichen placed his neck in front of the pig-faced man. He did not stay in the underworld for nothing. He had read some of the regulations of the underworld. It was clearly stated that the people of the underworld were not allowed to touch the living. They could play tricks on the living, but they were not allowed to cause any threat or harm to the living. It could be said that Yi Zichen was like a father in the underworld, and these little bastards couldn't show off in front of him. Dong. With a kick to the pig-faced man's body, he covered his crotch and shouted at the brawny men. The group of brawny men could only helplessly spread their hands, not daring to move at all. Little bastard, I want to promote justice. Come and beat me, hurry up and teach me a lesson. With another stomp, the pig-faced man didn't dare to speak again. Look at yourself. Yi Zichen spat at the pig-faced man, then turned towards the child beside him. All right, it's none of your business. Hurry up and leave. If there's pressure, then you have to resist. If you just endure it like this, then he'll definitely bully you. Yi Zichen instructed the boy with a few more words, then turned around and left. Please wait a moment. At that moment, the rescued boy suddenly bit his lip and called out to Yi Zichen, then ran over and said, What's wrong with you? Thank you so much for helping me. I've seen you many times in the ghost region. You seem to be looking for someone. If you don't mind, then tell me. I might be able to help you find the person you're looking for. You? Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows, then saw the boy nod with certainty with a smile. I don't have much ability in the underworld, but I do have some methods to find people. Yi Zichen smiled, then looked at the boy's confident gaze. Since he wouldn't be able to get dieting even if he waited like this, I might as well try it out with this boy and try everything I can. I'm looking for Dieting. Can you tell me where he is? Dieting? Is it Lord Dieting, King Xidigarba's mount? The boy revealed a confused expression. Yi Zichen smiled. That's him. How is it? Did he trouble you? Chapter 390. Except a lackey from the underworld, the winding path seemed to have no end. The little beggar in front would occasionally turn around to wait for Yi Zichen, then quickly run forward when he saw that Yi Zichen was about to catch up. Little guy, is Truth Listener really here? After walking for a full 2 hours, Yizichin pondered over how to get back. It's right in front. We'll be there soon. The little beggar giggled. After walking for 10 odd minutes, Yizichin saw a white-robed man sitting in a pavilion in front of a cliff. He raised the wine glass in his hand and looked ahead with a profound gaze. Lord hearken! The little beggar ran over with a grin. When Truth Listener saw him, it raised its eyebrows and smiled. Why are you here? That lord said he wants to see you. The little beggar pointed towards Yizichin. Diding nodded, then chuckled. It's you. I've seen you before in the reincarnation hall. Since Diding was not in his auspicious beast form, Yizichin thought that the little beggar was talking about a different person. However, when the white-robed man mentioned the reincarnation hall, he confirmed that the man was indeed his mission target, Truth Listener. What business do you have with me? Diding looked up with a smile. Yizichin licked his lips, then took out all of the alcohol he bought from the treasure chest. The Harkin's nose twitched, and a fiery look appeared in its eyes. Even if the cork wasn't opened, he could smell it. Yizichin relaxed when he saw his expression. The strategy guide had not lied to him. Diding was really a good drinker. Are you here to buy me a drink? Ting squinted his eyes and rubbed his hands together as he smiled. At this moment, he no longer looked like an auspicious beast. His eyes were glued to the wine as he softly sighed. What a pity! What, Lord Harkin doesn't like it? Yizichin quickly said. He had planned for this moment for far too long. If he didn't like it, then he could return to the modern realm and buy some other alcohol while there was still time. The wine is good. It's just that the Bodhisattva wants to take me to a secret place. Drinking is bad, and the Bodhisattva doesn't allow me to drink, Diding said. As Truth Listener spoke, it kept staring at the alcohol. Why don't you drink it when I return? I wonder how long it will take for Lord Harkin to return from that secret place? Yizichin raised his eyebrows. He did not have the time to wait for Diding. The time limit for this mission was 7 days. If they didn't complete it, they would be killed. 3 days had already passed, and only 4 days remained. I can't say for sure. If I'm fast, I'll be back in a day. If I'm slow, it'll take 10 days to half a month. Diding Yizichin. Diding's Yizichin was, God, 10 days to half a month. By the time he returned, it seemed like he could only drink with his ghost. You world Harkin, Yizichin said. Hark. You seem to be in a hurry? Ting. DK ding. To you. Dang. I'm also a wine lover. This wine is in my hands, and my heart is itching. But if I were to secretly drink it, I would be letting Lord Truth Listener down. Yizichin smiled coyly, causing Diding to smile in understanding. Understood, we are all kindred spirits. You can drink some yourself, but don't drink all of it. Leave some for me. Of course, I will return from that secret place as soon as possible and drink with you. All right. As soon as he finished speaking, Ting transformed into the form of an auspicious beast and spoke. Wait for me. Whoosh. Diding soared into the sky, then instantly disappeared from Yizichin's sight. Then, he put away all the alcohol on the table. At that moment, he was extremely nervous. His life was in the hands of the Harkin. It would be fine if he came back earlier, but if he came back later, if he really couldn't do it, he could negotiate with the mysterious man and delay it for a few days. He couldn't just lose his life like this. Yizichin muttered to himself, then put away all the alcohol. Just as he was about to leave, the little beggar suddenly ran in front of him and grabbed his pant. What's wrong? You like wine too? Then I'll give you a few bottles. Yizichin immediately took out a few bottles of alcohol from the treasure chest and placed them on the table. The little beggar shook his head, then raised his eyebrows. My lord, can you let me come with you? Sir, can you let me go with you? Yizichin was momentarily stunned. The little beggar nodded. Aha, you are a good person. Yes, you're a good person. No one in the underworld has ever helped someone like me. I want to follow you. I definitely won't eat your food for nothing. I have a lot of special skills as well. Yi Zichen sighed in his heart when he saw the little beggar's pitiful look. He could actually understand the little beggar. He had no one to rely on in the underworld, so he wanted to follow a kind-hearted person like Yi Zichen. Actually, Yi Zichen didn't mind the little fellow following him, but he was a mortal. He couldn't stay in the underworld forever. If he left the underworld, then wouldn't the little fellow still have no one to rely on? But I can't stay in the underworld for long. Did you say that you are going to explore the secret place? The little beggar's eyes brightened. I can go with you. If I say that I'm second in terms of survival skills, then no one would dare to say that they're first. The little beggar had completely misunderstood. However, Yi Zichen didn't want to explain too much to him. Fine, fine. Follow me then. Thank you, my lord. The little beggar stood up with a smile and said, Sir, I still don't know your name. Yi Zichen. Yi Zichen, the little beggar muttered, then blinked. I seem to have heard this name somewhere before. After returning to the Ghost Domain's capital city, when the little beggar walked in the middle of the road, there were several people who wanted to scold him away. However, when they noticed Yi Zichen beside him, they all swallowed their curses and walked to the side of the street. My lord, I've never been able to walk in the middle of the road before. The little beggar laughed at himself and said, However, I've always believed that I'll be able to stand in the center of the ghost realm one day. Although I'm not relying on my own strength, at least I'm one step closer to my dream. He smiled and nodded. For some reason, he could understand the little beggar's feelings. There seemed to be a tacit understanding between the two of them, but this was clearly their first meeting. Hee, you've really made it hard for this Grandpa Pig to find you. At that moment, a group of people suddenly appeared beside Yi Zichen and the little beggar, completely surrounding them. Not long later, the pig-faced man, who was beaten up, walked in from the crowd and squinted his eyes with a smile. Chapter 391. Everyone surged. The pig-headed fatty smiled secretively, while the thugs around him also gradually moved towards Yi Zichen's direction. Sire, run. I can take a beating very well. Come and save me when you call for reinforcement. The little beggar pushed Yi Zichen. The simple action touched the softness in Yi Zichen's heart. Yi Zichen rubbed the little beggar's head, then stepped forward with a smile. Are you sure you want to touch me? Grandson, don't act dumb with lousy. It's a huge taboo for a mortal to sneak into the underworld. I'll beat you up and throw you to Yama King later. Let's see what you do, the pig-headed fatty said in disdain. The pig-head fatty said in disdain. Yi Zichen nodded, then took out his phone. Save me? There's a pig-headed fatty blocking me in the central street of the ghost region. He wants to beat me up. Whoosh. All of a sudden, Yi Zichen sent the message to several people. Then, he put his phone back into his pocket and smiled. If you stop now, then there might still be room for negotiation. Pretentious, the pig-headed fatty snorted. Do it. Yi Zichen did send the message, but it was uncertain whether they would receive it immediately. Yi Zichen had to protect himself and the little beggar after they arrived. The people around him did not seem to be easy to bully. Yi Zichen clenched his teeth. Capture the ringleader first. Yi Zichen kicked the ghosts around him a few times, then reached towards the pig-headed fatty. Hey, you want to deal with me? I, Lord Fatty, have trained before. The pig-headed fatty snorted and took a step back. Then, two ghosts instantly appeared where he retreated and punched towards Yi Zichen. Bang! Yi Zichen was hit without warning. He raised his hand to touch the place where he was hit. They really can hit me. Sire, run! The little beggar's face was filled with anxiety. He wanted to help several times, but he was kicked away by the ghost. F***ck, Lousy didn't even get beaten up in the modern realm. Why would I get beaten up in the underworld? Boom! Yi Zichen instantly unleashed all his spiritual energy. Boundless spiritual pressure swept out from Yi Zichen's body. The enormous wave of spiritual energy shocked the surrounding people, but when they sensed the true strength behind it, False Earth Immortal, don't worry about it. Attack. Hee hee, you're looking down on false Earth Immortals, right? Let me teach you a lesson. With that, Yi Zichen charged towards the group as well. At this point, he was no longer putting up any defenses. With the invincible Vajra around, he would definitely not be injured too badly. What he needed to do now was to beat these ghosts into submission and hold on until the group of people who had sent him the message arrived. Ding dong. Oxhead, who had just returned from a stroll outside, twisted his neck and took out his phone. There was a message on the top of his phone. Save me. Ghost Domain Central Street, there's a pig-head fatty blocking my way. He wants to beat me up. F***CK. The Potato Brothers were beaten up. Oxhead immediately put his phone into his pocket and shouted at Horseface. Bring our people and follow me to the central street of the Ghost Domain. Xie Mansion. Xie Lei's status in the Xie family rose after Yi Zichen gave him that bag of tea leaf. At that moment, while he was playing chess with Xie Bian, his phone, which was placed beside him, rang. It wasn't just his, Xie Bian's phone also rang. The two of them looked at the message. Then, Xie Bian raised his eyebrows with a smile. It's your people, right? It's your people, right? They actually sent a message to me. But, let's go over and take a look. I do want to know who actually dared to bully the people of our Xie Manor. Hurry up. If you're too slow, then watch how I'm going to take care of you. The White Impermanence in turn also hurried towards the central street of the Ghost Domain with 70 to 80 little ghosts. She was the first to see Yi Zichen's message, but she was truly too far away. All sorts of people surged when the onlookers, who did not know the truth, saw how aggressive these people were with so many people. They all followed behind them curiously. However, Yi Zichen really couldn't take it anymore. The people that the pig-head fatty brought should all be of the Earth Immortal level. If there was only one or two, then he might be able to fight with them. However, there were several tens of them, so he was truly a bit tired. Yi Zichen breathed heavily. While the thugs weren't much better, they all stood to the side and breathed heavily. The pig-head fatty, who was watching the show, walked over with a twitch of his mouth. Grandson, are you pretending with Grandpa? Yi Zichen raised his leg and was about to kick down. At that moment, Yi Zichen no longer had the strength to dodge the kick. At that very moment, a white chain suddenly wrapped around the pig-headed fatty's neck. Bai Rou stepped into the air and tightly gripped the chain, forcefully throwing the fatty against a nearby wall. Are you all right? Bai Rou landed down from the sky worriedly. Yi Zichen couldn't help but smile when he saw her. You were actually the first to arrive. Sorry, I was a bit far away, so I came a bit late. Bai Rou frowned worriedly when she saw the wound on Yi Zichen's face. At that moment, she was not wearing any work clothes, so she appeared in her human form in front of everyone. Yi Zichen couldn't help but be shocked when he saw her face again. I really don't understand why that black impermanence would have an affair. Bai Rou. The pig-head fatty frowned, then touched his neck, which was chained earlier. You truly are bold. You actually dared to touch Lord Fatty's neck with a soul-reaping chain. Bao Tan, hurry up and F***CK off. I'm annoyed when I see your pig face. Bai Rou stood up with her hands on her waist, then turned towards the 70 or 80 ghosts she brought with her. Keep a close eye on them. If they dare to act recklessly, then beat them up for Laonyang. We have a lot of people, so 3 against 1 is definitely no problem. Laonyang will compensate those who are injured when we get back. If you cripple them, you'll get a reward. Hee hee, Bai Rou. You're rather concerned about this brat. Is he your new gigolo? F***CKU. Bai Rou squinted her eyes and cursed. That's so strange. How did Marshal Bao have a grandson like you? You're a hybrid, right? Pighead. Ziziz, say that again? Bao Tan frowned. At that moment, a playful laugh sounded out. So what if I said it? So what if I did? Don't embarrass your grandfather. Hurry up and go home, okay? Xie Lei walked out from the side with a smile, while Xie Bian, who was in casual clothes, followed beside him. Master. Bairo cupped her hands towards Xiebian. Xiebian nodded, then glanced towards Yi Zichen. When he saw the ring on Yi Zichen's finger, he smiled faintly. We meet again. Commander Xie. Xiebian continued to smile, then turned towards Bao Tan. Go back. With me here, even if old Bao came, he would have to back off,